wait, this is the wrong one. Hold on. We gotta go this way. Sorry, we're just swapping rooms. Hi, everyone! How is everyone doing? Hello. Hello, Jojo. Hello, Sinon. Hello, Zero. Hello, Miwu. Hello, Quirky. Hello, Live Life. Hello, Tiny Mango, Vivi, Wild Geese, Sand Liquid, Lucas on the Twitch side. Hello. Welcome. Oh my goodness, are you guys so excited for our second episode of Anime Day? Woo! I'm shitting my pants right now, and
lock it in.
I gotta lock it. Okay, so before I introduce myself, I want to introduce these two beautiful women right here. The one with the second biggest titties here. Why don't you introduce yourself?
The fact that we know exactly who you're talking about. Alright, Converu, cute enough to stop your heart, skilled enough to restart it. Knock knock, my name is Bluebell. I am the nurse for EVE.EXE. I love Apothecary. Very happy we get to talk about it today. Yeah! Woo! Yay!
And the #1 gold crown holder, first place of the biddy brigade. Hello, introduce yourself.
Deadass, I thought she was gonna go like, I have the biggest titties or something.
No, I don't lie to myself.
Oh, come on, queen, don't downgrade yourself. You're good.
It's okay. It's all in my ass. It's all good.
That's true. A sniper of EVE.EXE, Azure is ready to support you from afar. Hello everyone, I'm excited to talk about Apothecary Diaries. I rewatched it and I had so much fun, so I'm hella excited. Woohoo!
Woo!
Yeah.
And for me, the smallest biddies, but the biggest
Personality.
personality. Yeah, wow! It's me, Elyza.EVE of EVE.EXE. Fortune fakes and flawless. No, that's a triple threat. Hi everyone! Hello! So yeah, what? No offense, but Elyza looks flat next to them. Excuse me, there's a lot of personalities and they're very perky, you know. Over time, gravity will aid me in aging.
You tell them.
Damn stay, Anja! So yeah, we are most excited today to discuss this next show that we have watched, the Apothecary Diaries. Where to begin? So this is our first time doing a full season because last time we did Uzumaki, which is like a special situation, so there was 4 episodes, but here we've got a whopping 24 episodes to discuss, and we're gonna split it up to kind of, you know, so Azaria's gonna lead for the first 8 episodes, and then I'm gonna lead for the middle 8, and then BB is gonna round us off for those last 8. We're gonna discuss the whole time, but you know, we'll have our resident hat holder. I should have brought a hat to the office and put it on each of us as like the leader. But today we just have the cup. Actually, this is perfect. So we will make sure that the cup is in front of whoever is in charge. Shout out this cup. We need to make this merch actually. I really want the weird cup with the baby Elyza. I think I need that as like a cup at all times. Yeah. Future merch. Yeah, 24 episodes of craziness.
Punishment.
Yeah. Shout out Lily AI if you're here, you know. But yeah, initial thoughts. I really enjoyed the show. I think BB's watched it, and Azara, you had read it?
I watched it.
You watched it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like did you read it before you watched it? Because
No.
I mean, oh, okay. So I was a new baby to this show. I think they were not. So I'm excited to kind of hear their perspectives because they kind of got to see the whole show all the way through and then go back, which is like, I feel like this is actually a really good show for rewatching because the way everything ties is so good. It's actually so good. I was really impressed. But let's just get into it, I think, because we've got a lot to discuss. So Zari, Zeddy's Chan, woman, beautiful, bitty
Well, woman.
lover.
Hello.
My brain is working at
wife right
100%. Yeah, it's working. In front of my wife. You're so right. My bad. I'm hitting on my
Yeah,
big
it's very
my big foxy sister.
Yeah, that was stuck to her hair earlier. She doesn't want to let me go. Just saying.
Yeah, I can't let you go. You're too sexy, you know?
In front of your wife? Okay. Look at her, she's saying.
This is if you make me freaky. Okay, Zeddy!
I'm just here. I'm just like, what's going on?
Okay, I'll start us off.
Mhm.
Okay, so reminder, I'm just gonna let everyone know, for those who haven't watched Apothecary or read Apothecary Diaries, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers. What I'm gonna be doing is basically recap to you what happened in each episode. I can't even speak. In each episode. Shut up. I'm gonna tell you guys what happened in each episode, and then we'll talk about what we felt, okay? So starting from episode 1, where everything happened. So you'll see Mao Mao with her dad at her old house, her initial house, and then she was talking to her dad, and her dad went, "Oh, you have to go pass some stuff over to the how to pronounce this? The Verdigris house, where it's a brothel, where all she basically grew up there, but she was transferred over to her dad, you know." So when he said that, "Oh, please hand it over to the grandma over there," you see a scene where it foreshadows her getting kidnapped.
Dude, okay, can I say, I was dying when also one, spoiler alert, guys. We are spoiling the show. We're going to be talking about it. So keep that in mind. If you want to watch the show and you don't want to be spoiled, we will be talking about the show. No, but it was literally the subtle foreshadowing meme. I think maybe we watched that together. And I was dying. I was like, what is this subtle foreshadowing? But not subtle at all. They kept flashing it throughout the first 15 minutes of the episode. Like every moment, it'd be like, this happened. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen.
Yeah. Because the thing that they foreshadow it, you're like, at that point, it's like, huh, do you mean that it's gonna happen, or is it just like a hint to like, oh, what could happen, and it actually happened later on? So I'm like, okay, the foreshadowing is really quick. I was like, that's intense. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, baby?
Foreshadowing is a literary context. Yeah, what is it? It was really funny the first time I watched Apothecary, just how in your face they were about that. Like, yeah, because from the get-go, from the first episode, like we get a lot of insight into what type of person Mama is and what sort of shenanigans she's getting dragged into, or she kind of just stumbled her way into.
It's the way that she gave no fucks to it, and it's like, this is my life now. It's like, what a queen.
It says a lot about, you learn a lot about Mao Mao, our incredible protagonist, within the first like 5 to 10 minutes of the show. Like any other normal person, or I shouldn't say, well, no, she's a freak. Any other person that gets put in her situation would definitely freak out and try to find ways to get back home to her father, you know, back to where they originally lived, like right outside the red district, right? But for her, just seeing how nonchalant she was, like, it was really funny, excuse me, feeling the difference between my panic and her getting kidnapped versus her being like, ah, shit, this might as well happen. All right, cool. Where the hell am I? Okay, sick. All right, I guess we're back here now. You know, at least I'm not dead. I suppose we'll just serve out our term here in the rear palace, and I'll just wander my way home. Like, I just have to make sure my old man eats. Like, the fact that she has no sense of urgency about herself was already like, oh, she's definitely different from some other protagonists.
Yeah,
I've seen. Like,
it almost threw me off a
crazy
little bit. It almost threw me off a little bit because I was like, why is this okay? Like, literally, the show, I feel like a second watch through, everything will sit way better, but it was almost like so jarring. The subtle foreshadowing, her reaction. I was like, what? Why are you okay with this? What's going on? I'm like, she just got kidnapped. Are you good? Like, brother, like, the way she accepted it.
For me,
Mhm.
Like, first of all, Mama isn't like, she doesn't give a shit about her getting like kidnapped and everything. Second of all, she does send letters to like her father and like the
Mhm.
granny at the brothel, but they don't give a shit. They're like, all right, she's there, she's chilling.
Mhm.
They really just accepted it. I'm like, oh, really? I mean, sure, she's smart and all, but like, no worries on a single issue. Like, I'm not gonna talk about like the grandma because the grandma appears like later on. We'll talk about her later, but she's a badass.
Yeah, she is pretty crazy. Although I don't know, I feel like yeah, she's an interesting character.
She's interesting. You should definitely read the manga for sure. But anyway,
Was it? I do
talk about-
actually. I have a quick question. Was the manga very different from the anime? Like, was there a lot of
I haven't-
information that changed or wasn't
Well, I
in?
haven't really read the manga properly. I only seen like snippets here and there, so I like see like a little bit into the future. So I can't really say. But I know some people in chat, they said they talk about like they read the manga before, so maybe we can have chat tell us if anything changed.
Yeah.
Things were
Chat.eve. What did you guys think of the manga versus the
Chat.eve.
anime?
Oh yeah, we get to test run your official fan name, guys. Crazy.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, did
From-
the poll even went up?
Yeah, from what I looked up though, I think there were a couple of adaptation changes they did make from the anime versus the manga.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, from what I've heard, like the changes they made make sense at
Okay.
least when it comes to like the adaptations pacing. Like a lot of like no major key points were changed, I think. Maybe the way they were introduced, but at the end of the day, I believe it comes down to like the same sort of resolutions. I
Okay.
guess.
Cool. That's
Okay,
good to
so
hear.
Moving on.
Mhm.
Moving on from the foreshadowing, the dad said be careful, and then the foreshadowing happened, But we time skip a little bit to this beautiful street. Okay, that is I think that's the red light district where like you see a lot of people, a lot of yeah, and then you see pirating for the first time, and Mama's working behind the scenes in the brothel. No, she's not a cortician. She's just there working with her medicine in the back room, not that back room, but the other back room. And then you
Grandma
see,
definitely trying to make her a courtesan though. That's
yeah, the grandma
Mhm.
tried. She's like, convincing her still. Are you sure you don't want to be a cortician? And she's like, she ran for her life. But before she ran for her life, you see that her hands are injured due to testing. So for that, you can see that Mama is very well versed in the medicines and stuff. That she like to test poison on herself. That's scary, but she knows what she's doing. She do her things, okay? Then afterwards, when she went home, she's done with her stuff, and she ran away from the scary granny who tried to make her a cortician. She get distracted by herbs on the way home. You literally go from here, she becomes her cat-like self, and all of a sudden, three guys, right, came up from behind her, and it's like, we caught a good one. It's like, shit, here we go again. And then there you see it. She got sent to the rear palace, where it's a place for women to give birth to emperor's children. No men's are allowed, except if you cut off the important part,
A eunuch.
then you're allowed there. Yeah, a eunuch. Yes, that's basically it. And then you also get to see two new characters, Lihua-sama and Gyokuyo-sama. So Lihua's son just got born, and then Gyokuyo and her daughter are just together, getting cozy and getting news about Lihua-sama's son that got born, right? I like the contrast here because Nihua is blue, Gyokyo is red. That's the big contrast there. You can't really see much of their personality at this stage, but yeah. So for most people, in the rear palace, it's literally like the lower ranking people. Most people don't know how to read and write there. So this key point is very important, but you might slightly miss it or just throw that note aside. So if you can read and write, you're definitely worth more. Which is why Mama, you notice that she hides her face with makeup. So she used dried clay to, do makeup on her face to make fake freckles. That's interesting. She hides very, very well, so she doesn't get to do more annoying tasks. And I think if I was there, I would do the same, because if I get sent to the higher up, who knows? It's always the higher ups that has issues, right? They have a lot of things that you need to do.
Yeah,
So would you guys rather
they
hide
do.
there or
They
not?
Yeah, I don't think they reveal that.
yeah,
part
they don't
till
reveal the
very
makeup
later
thing
on, though.
until a
Yeah.
bit later. The big point that she kind of makes at first is, oh, I don't want to show that I can read and write because she doesn't want to get promoted. There was a really funny scene though. I remember where she's like saying how part of what helps you rise in the ranks is being like voluptuous, and then she's like, yeah, but I don't got those. And I was like, damn, my poor girl.
So basically here you only know that like, oh, most people don't know how to read and write, and that's it. So like the other stuff is later on, okay? So then you get to see the first time you get to see Jinshi-sama at Li-Hua's place, and the baby is suffering, and Li-Hua-sama's face is actually pretty bony. We don't know what happened because literally you saw like a few minutes earlier her son got born into the world, and then all of a sudden the baby is suffering and her face, the mom is like, you know, bony and stuff. And then also Gyokyo's baby, as the mom is literally a little bit less obvious. You can't really tell that she's sick, in my opinion. But yeah, both babies are suffering, and Li-Hua-sama is also suffering. We don't know for what reason, right? And they mentioned briefly that apparently the past 3 children also passed away in the past, but there was no like indicator of what, they don't know what exactly like killed them, you know? And then afterwards you see suddenly these 2 queens. Oh my god. I just want to ask you guys, which one do you guys prefer?
I think I definitely prefer the, I can't say her name. No, the orange hair one. The orange hair one. I think I like her better. I think. Yeah. But Li-Hua is really pretty. Like after a couple episodes, she's so gorgeous. Like she actually and this titty's so fat. But I think it's like it's the first one that accepted Mao Mao. So it's kind of like, and she's just so sweet. She's so kind. So I think, well, okay, I will say later on in the show, after the rotation of the pure consort, the one that comes in, we don't know much about her, but oh my god, she's so gorgeous. I love her like face shape. I love her eyes. I'm like, I kind of want to do my eye makeup like that. It's so gorgeous.
It kind of reminds me of you. So I was like, I think Elyza would like her.
God damn, I always love people and designs that just look like me. What's wrong with me?
No, there's nothing wrong. You're valid. What's wrong? I like Gyokyo-sama, but then after a few episodes where she, some stuff happened, I start preferring Li-Hua. She's very, very pretty. I really like her so much. But yeah, I can't say my favorite between the four consort. What about BB? Who's your favorite between these 2?
I just want to say God gave us 2 hands for a reason.
There's a few of them. Come on.
There's no real. I mean, between the 2 of them, I mean, naturally, I feel like most people are drawn to Lady Gyokyo first, just based off of like her charm, her personality. Like they definitely, like they both have qualities about them and certain things about them that make them perfect for being like literally concubines to the emperor of the time.
God, I wish I was the emperor. Man.
I mean, you kind of are.
Shut up,
You kind of are with 4 people here.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously, naturally, I love Gyokyo just because like she's literally one of the girlies, but not by much though. Especially with the more you get to learn about all the characters. Like to me in general, like I know it sounds really general and just kind of being like neutral or whatnot, but there's not one non-interesting character that I really find myself like attracted to or like interested in or like just intrigued in, other than Mamo.
Everyone's pretty balanced, and Mamo's really just up there. You can't really balance her out. She's too good.
I love Mama. She's so cool. She's so perfect. Okay, sorry, you can continue. I love her so much.
Okay, so time skip, and then you suddenly see these 2 queens, Li-Hua and Gyokyo, fighting in the open. They're making a commotion out there in the palace, and Li-Hua-sama is actually accusing Gyokyo-sama for cursing her son. Like, it's your fault. You cursed my son, and now my son is suffering. But of course, the other side also has her baby suffering. She's like, no, I didn't do anything. Why would I curse you for no reason? But Mama saw this all of a sudden. She knew what was going on, and she tried to walk away while thinking how she could get her message across. And then Jinshi noticed there was this person that she has that aura. She maxed out her aura, but by the time he turned around, she was gone. Gone like the wind. What? she got the aura. Come on.
Yeah.
How did you notice her? Right.
She got that tiny cat, strange girl aura.
Yeah, she got
Yeah.
that.
She's
Yeah,
different from the other
normally,
girls.
people walk past you, you don't really turn around and look at them. But like, he noticed something in Mao Mao, but by the time he looked away, she was gone. So she managed to try to send a message to them by putting a flower and a message tied to the stalk, right? And she put it on the, what do you call it, the railings.
Mm.
Gyokyo-sama's, you can't really see that, but you can tell that in the later part they said like she took it. And then Lihua's concubine saw this thing, thought it was trash, and just sucked it off the railings and just
Her
went
lady
away.
in
Like,
waiting.
why? Yeah, her lady in waiting. Yeah, okay, it's her lady in
It
waiting.
was the lady in
Yeah, her
waiting.
lady in
Okay.
waiting.
I thought I might have misremembered. I thought it was Lihua. So it was the lady in the waiting that saw the flower and
Yeah,
just knocked it off.
lady in
Yeah,
the waiting.
it
Her
was one
lady
of
in the
Bitch!
the
waiting.
sending to Lihua.
Yeah, like they can't even bother to like look at it first, then throw it away. They just literally just swept it away. But yeah, she threw it away, and then Gyokyo, you can tell that she already took it, and she tried to tell Lihua-sama that, oh, the powder. No, this will sit later. But like, there's something that you should not do to prevent your baby from dying and start helping your baby, But she wouldn't believe it. She kept insisting that Gyokyo is out to get her baby because she's jealous. Because bear in mind, the son is always like the more important one to like the royalty instead of like the daughter. And Lihua-sama has a son, whereas Gyokyo has like a daughter, right? So obviously that Lihua is a bit up there because she has a son and Gyokyo has a daughter, right? So she thinks that Gyokyo is jealous of her. And then fast forward, you see that unfortunately Lihua-sama's baby died. You hear her screaming, crying the night away. It was really sad for me listening to her cry because she lost her baby.
I was just mad. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, it was so avoidable. Like, who's gonna, why? Ugh.
Well, it's avoidable to us because we're watching it, right?
Yeah.
So it just sucks. And yeah, I feel like that's one of the first quotes, I guess, that we can take from Apothecary that really stuck out to me is probably like the central theme, which is like the start of all of Mao Mao getting into all the shenanigans. Is just, I believe it's Lady Gyokyo that originally says it, where it's like ignorance truly is a sin.
Yeah.
She said
right. Yeah. Just cause to recap, while Mao Mao tries to lay low and kind of just do her term, just try to get her 2 years and out, she, despite her wanting to keep her head low, just has a penchant for justice. And it was really cool seeing that, like, oh, no matter what goodwills that you try to send out into the world, whether it's like, doing a good deed for other, in this case, like putting out a very important message, like, hey, don't use this, protect your kid. It doesn't matter what goodwill you do. Like, it's also up to others to receive the message. But yeah,
She
my heart
tried her
broke
best.
for her, truly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
She tried
really
her best
funny
in her
that
own
no matter how much Mao Mao wants to keep her head down, she just can't help but be like, yeah, I know
Right.
something is wrong, and I know this ain't my business.
But
I feel
gotta
like I
step in
should say
somehow.
something anyway.
Yeah. I
But
love
little
that
does
about
she
her.
know how bad she freaked up. Smile.
Smile.
So yeah, I feel sad for her baby died. She tried her best to save her baby in whatever way she could, but no, it just it didn't work. And you find out that Gyokyo's baby actually survived, and both the mom and her, right? They are both safe, except for Lihua-sama, she's suffering. And then next day, Jinshi goes to visit Gyokyo-sama and talk to her. So he found out that the reason how her baby survived was that she found a letter tied to a flower, and then she's like, okay, so then we know for sure that there's someone out there who knew about it and talked, like, warned Gyokyo-sama in a low-key way. So what he did was he decided to gather every servants in one room. So here when it comes to like what we said earlier, those people who can read and write. So everyone there cannot read, cannot write, except for Mao Mao, right? So he literally like, oh, hello ladies, writes on the paper, you in the freckles, stay right there. And then the other servants like, oh, what's happening? Okay, servants, you can go now. And they're like, oh, okay, they leave. And then Mao Mao being like, oh shit, wait, what was this gone? Oh, is it me? By the time she figured it out, she was too late.
It was at this moment she knew she fucked up. Literally.
She fucked up hard. Because honestly, if I read that, I'll probably like, you know what? I'll instantly go with the crowd. But she was panicking inside, so I can understand her. Like she's trying to think what she can do. But by the time she thought finished, like she processed all her thoughts, it's too late. She got caught by Jin. She was like, you can read, right? Come here.
Get to break over here.
So yeah, so this is
really
the whole
funny.
start. She's so funny. It's like,
As low-key
she's so
as she
disgusting as well.
tries to be, I mean, to be fair though, Jinshi's the one that caught her off guard because
Yeah.
Jinshi was the only one that actually managed to catch what she muttered to herself. And as Azaria had already stated, like most of the girls that get taken to the rear palace, they're taken there because they're
Cannot
looking
read
for
and write.
servants. It's either
Yep.
it's either they're looking for someone they can put into servitude to help with the rear palace, or if the kidnappers can send someone of value, whether that is in beauty or brains or otherwise, then yeah. And naturally, the only person who could leave a message like this for both Lady Lihua, Lady Gyokyo is someone who can read and write.
Yeah.
And another thing too I like to mention is that the message specifically, it was written in a specific type of cloth that only the servant girls that work in laundry and otherwise use. So
Yes,
yeah.
that's right.
That's basically how he managed to nail it immediately. He was just like, oh, it was definitely one of the servant girls then.
Yeah, she
That
was
was really smart.
careful, but not that careful.
She's not too careful. Yeah. I like you see like both sides being smart. It was like, oh bang. But the fact that like Jinshi was like he held onto her shoulders like, I told you to stay, right? And she's like, oh my god, push ups. It was like, it's really
At that
funny.
point, she knows she was caught. She's like, well, damn.
Yeah, I'm doomed.
Damn.
So yeah, the ending of the episode 1 is basically they dragged her and discussed like, how did she find out? What did you say like this? So she explains that the whole issue is the makeup that the concubines use. So Gyokyo and Rihwa-sama, it's the powder that they put on her face, and that it's really deadly. The reason why she knows is that because she grew up in the brothel and had people who suffered the same consequences. Like I can't remember what the symptoms was, but people put on makeup, and then the people there, just the courtesans started suffering from issues, and she knows like, oh, same thing. So that's her experience in the brothel, right? It saves people's life, and she knew she's fucked, and they were talking about it, but Gyokyo was like, oh, how about you become my lady in waiting? And that's the end of episode 1. She becomes a lady in waiting, which for people who don't know the anime, lady in waiting basically is higher ranked than normal servants, and you just serve concubines and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
and she's specifically given the task of being the taste tester. Like before anything gets to the concubine, right, she's gonna be tasting it to make sure there's no poison, which of course she's excited about because she's so normal. Also, I want to point out, I love how this show is very, in a lot of ways, historically accurate in like some small details and whatever. Like when it comes to the powder, like that was actually a real thing. A lot of makeup was very like not good for women, and they were just putting it on their faces, and men as well, you know, the powder on their faces, and that was like actually a big thing also both in like Europe and then also I guess Asia, where it was people were putting on face powders and it was actually like toxic for them. So it was cool to see. Yeah, it was cool to see that, and I guess as like a viewer to already have that knowledge, to then be like, oh, it's that, and I'm like, oh my god, I was right. Woo! Like it was, I don't know, it's fun for me.
It is fun. Yeah, back then they don't have like the ingredients to make it properly, so they use like whatever there is, like arsenic or whatever. That's actually pretty bad for your health. So I like that, how to reference back to that.
It's interesting how much Apothecary. It's interesting to see how much research basically that the author put into all the points. Like the way they took care into all of the like the political statuses and like how society was built then, and also being able to merge like the stuff that we know just
Yeah.
wasn't known at that time.
Yep.
Propane-based makeup? What?
Oh,
Surely
Lord.
that can only go well.
Yeah, then overall I like episode 1. It's not too much things that happen there to make you like really confused. Like some anime, I can't really remember which anime, but made me confused in the first episode. But it was at a good pace. Like it set up completely well, and like it showed you how like she became the food tester for Gyokyo-sama's side, and how she just went up in rank instantly in that one part. So yeah, and then episode 2, it starts off with people passing out in the camp. So there are like military officers. There's like camping outside. They're just chilling by the campfires at the village, and the villagers gave them food, right? Because they were being nice and stuff. But then suddenly people started passing out after eating, and they started accusing the villagers, "Oh, you're the one who poisoned us. What's your objective?" And then all of a sudden, it just skips to a beautiful lady that was shown. And I don't think she's ever seen again in this episode. It's only the first time she was seen. It's just literally at the start. And then you time skip again to Jinshi-sama receives the news about like people passing in the camp, and then they talk about like how Mama becoming a lady in waiting, and she's becoming a nice pawn for him. Though we don't know what exactly his plan was, but he said like he could use Mama for something, right? And he wants to seduce her in case anything happens. Because
my
the reason
goodness.
why is that he wants to keep Mao under control. Because if you realize Mao has a lot of knowledge, so like she knows a lot of poison, she knows a lot of medicine, and if she was to grow in strength and like rise up in rank really fast, I don't think she can be controlled. So that's why he wants to seduce her. But when I saw
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna keep her loyal. I'm gonna make sure she never like wants to poison anybody. You know, I'm gonna give her the Riz. He really thought he was the Rizzler 9000, but
yeah, little did he know.
yeah, he did
That's
not.
just basically something in his arsenal, right? Like he knows he's hot shit, and and as we find out later, there's specific things he does to basically sharpen the blade that he has. Just happens to be his looks. It's just really unfortunate that of all the people who tries to rise up, it's literally the one who's like, what?
Literally hissing. Like, oh my god, I love when she would do the like all of the little like cat motifs throughout the show that she does. They make me so happy because I'm like, I love cat coded individuals. And yeah, I remember
her name itself is also like, what? It's a sound that the cats make or something.
Wait,
like
is that really it?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I just love it when like Jinshi like looks at other like crowd of ladies, and they're like yeah, and then she looks back at Mama, she's like, like she don't give a shit.
This is truly unfortunate that out of everyone he tries to use that on, it is the one that has
the knowledge.
Basically super arrow coded. She's very incredibly ace coded.
She is. And then later on, she goes to visit Gyokyo-sama. You see her Gyokyo-sama's palace or her place called the Jade Pavilion, right? She gets a tour by one of Gyokyo-sama's like closer lady in waiting, and then she met the other ladies in waiting. There's basically 3 of them. So in total, there's 4 working for Gyokyo-sama. And then they were talking to her, chit-chatting, introducing, and they see her injured hand. The one that we know that she probably like poisoned herself to like test her shit, but they don't know that. And they started pitting her and started having imagination. But she gone through so much things in the rear palace or like outside, and they're the one who have to work hard and start pitting her.
Yeah, they're like, oh, did you come from, or they're like worrying she came from like a abusive home, and so they like baby the shit out of her. Meanwhile, she's like, I actually just did this to myself. Yeah.
Little does she know.
It's
just so funny seeing that understanding, because again, for those that don't know, basically you get into the rear palace by either one of 2 ways. It's either you were probably kidnapped and sold that way, or you came in from one of the outside, what is it, towns, villages, I guess, to work for the like. Normally you'll be like, if you're of lowly birth, you'll be in the low areas. If you're high, so on and so forth. So these girls getting a new girl from the outside, don't know where the frick she came from. How else are they going to perceive seeing all those bruises and other crazy things on her body? Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this poor girl, she's been through so much. Please, we need to take care of you.
It's so funny because like not just episode 2, like future episodes, like after a while they're like still pitying her. They don't understand.
Yeah.
And I like this tree. I don't know. I like the ladies in waiting for like Gyokyo-sama. They're really really funny in my opinion.
They're
The
so
chemistry
cute.
they have.
I love them.
Though, you know, the
chemistry is
head,
better.
the head lady
Yeah,
in
yeah.
waiting reminds me of Pokemon. I don't know if anyone else got that, but I'm like, she's giving like Pokemon trainer. Am I crazy?
Like, you're not wrong for that because she's always like the one that like butts in like, hey you, stop doing this, stop doing that, and the other three are just trolling around, messing around.
I also just feel like literally the shape of her head, like just her entire look, every time she was on screen, I'm like, I'm looking at a Pokemon trainer, a Pokemon character. Like, that might just be me, but like,
And she's gonna, Eliza's gonna go to people like, she points to that person, you're a Pokemon trainer, coach this person. Right, you should probably like do that to everyone in the chat. But yeah,
everyone is a Pokemon trainer.
everyone's Pokemon trainer. Oh damn. Okay, I thought you're the Pokemon trainer and they're the Pokemons, you know?
Yes, yes, actually, yes, you are all my Pokemons.
Yeah, Pokemons.
I'm a Pokemon.
So later, after pitting her, they get her to immediately do her job. So she gets tested as a food tester, right? She's sitting there in the room, and Gyokyo-sama, apparently you learned that her food was poisoned twice. So that's why they desperately need a food tester, because she has a daughter now and want her to be careful. And they did the test, blah blah, and she's done. At nighttime, where she's doing her stuff, the head lady in waiting came to talk to her, and they were making changes, right? So the food that was given to her was in a ceramic bowl, and she told the head lady in waiting to change it to a silver plate, because if you guys know, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys know, that a silver will react to poison, and you would definitely can tell instantly that there has poison in there and stuff. But the thing is, the head lady in waiting told her that it was ceramic on purpose to test her, and she's like, "This little shit, Jinshi, did you do this on purpose just to test my skills? Do you not trust me?" So I liked it that they're testing her. That was good. But you get to see her in action, right? So the lady in waiting, the head one, asked her, "Oh, why is she here? Why is she in this place?"
Oh, also, I want to butt in.
something?"
I'm curious. So did you guys know about the silver, the poison silver thing? Like, that's a real thing. And
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I learned it from, I don't know if you guys have ever played it. It's an indie horror game called Witch's House. I learned that silver changes color or whatever when it comes into contact with poison, because there's a section in the game where in order to unlock a door, you have to get a silver fork and put it in a bowl of soup, and that's how you find out the soup is poisoned or whatever, and it opens the door. So I was like, when I heard that, like my neurons activated, and I was like, oh, it needs to be silver. Like before, I think she even started eating. When I saw the bowl, I was like, it needs to be silver. That's how you can tell it's poison. My monkey brain went, ooh, I know a fact, I know a fact.
Activated.
It made me happy.
Yeah, I like the small details that like, oh, you need to change this, change that, and like make it silver plate, because like people don't know like silver plate actually reacts to it because the chemicals and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So then lady in waiting asked her like, oh, why is she here? Because she know how to read and write. So she explained that, oh, she got kidnapped, and that she's trying to make the kidnapper earn less money, right? Because basically the kidnapper sells you off to the rear palace. They still get the money that you earn, which is dumb, but in a sense it makes sense because they're the one who kind of got you into the palace. So then she got tricked. The head lady in waiting was like, all right, help me hold this vase here, right here. And then when she reached out for it, bong, it dropped. And it's like, oh, no, what happened? Just like, oh dear, you broke the vase. Do you have enough money to pay for this? This is really, really expensive. She realized what she was trying to do. So basically the head was trying to make her make the kidnapper like earn less money, so they have to pay for the vase, right? That's really, really smart on both of them, and I like that how they were working together so that the kidnapper would suffer much. But yeah, days later, you see Jinshi visits them again. I don't know why he keeps visiting Gyokyo, but you don't really get to see him visiting the others. But he visits Gyokyo again. Tried to charm Mamo as per usual, but she's always hissing back at him. She brought some baozi, so it's basically buns, and inside there can be anything. I think in this case was baozi.
Baozi. Did I say it right?
Yeah,
let's go! Baozi! Let's go!
It's basically buns, like steamed buns, and inside there can be anything. Could be like raping paste, but in this case, I think it was like meat and stuff. So, and I asked her to test it. But when she's like, okay, sure. But she ripped it open. You see how delicious the baozi looked like, right? And she's like, she smells it. She can smell the aphrodisiac immediately. It was like funny because she's like, oh, this is drug. And he's like, oh, okay. Huh, you can smell it, huh? And she said, what the fuck? You trying to make me eat it without knowing?
Just like, oh, even you can tell this, huh?
Yeah, you can tell this, huh?
She's just like, why do you say it like that? Excuse me.
You know it from the start and you're trying to make me eat it? Like,
yo, he's a freak. That man is a freak. The way he like actually tried to get her to take an aphrodisiac is insane.
Yeah, I was like low-key disappointed.
I don't think he was trying to make her take. Maybe he is because he's trying so desperately hard to like, what is it? Seduce her. Like I think it could half be that. And I also read it when I saw that scene for the first time. I thought it was a gift to him that he decided he might as well share around with everyone else. Right?
I took it as he got the gift and I think he knew there's an aphrodisiac, right? Because she says, "Oh, you knew." So he was having her taste test it, knowing that it's in there.
Yeah, because like again, he's literally described as someone who is like the most beautiful man, like against either both men and women, and so obviously there's a lot of people that are going to be trying some underhanded shit to try to earn his favor. So, yeah,
for me, it's like he's probably just testing her, and then like the fact that you said that like there are people like girls and guys aiming for him, so he kind of knows that he's really popular, and she's a new food tester. Might as well test her again, you know, and to keep it safe for himself. That's what I thought.
Because again, like they literally just met her, like they don't know what her intentions are, how she ended up here, why she ended up appearing before them, and they still yet to really understand just the immense amount of knowledge that she really has. Like the motherfucker really is an apothecary.
Yeah, I think I took it
where they're just like, whoa, oh,
yeah.
Damn,
I think
you might actually know your stuff.
He was half. I think it was half. He was seeing if she could figure it out, and also knew if she takes an aphrodisiac, it's not the end of the world. But I think he was enjoying the idea of her being on an aphrodisiac. Like that's how I read it. It was like a mixture, right? He's testing her. He knows she'll be okay if she does end up taking it and makes the mistake. And I think he was expecting it, and he's having fun with the idea. You know, the dude's he's kind of freaky, especially in the early episode.
He is a freak. You're not wrong about that. He's a freak. We don't know his true intentions, but you know, he's a freak. He's down bad for her later on.
Yeah, later on? Freaking immediately.
No, it's more. He's
later on.
Realizing after a certain episode, you know? Yeah. Now he's not really that interested. He just sees her as a pawn. But later on, this shit goes down for him. He becomes freaky. Not really, I don't know. But yeah. So you see the scene where he tried to trick her and like try to test her, and then she knows already, right? Then afterwards, he talks about the situation that you saw at the start. Basically, the soldiers at the camp passing out and stuff, and ask her for her opinion, because this is really important, because the soldiers are blaming the villagers and the whole village for like the poison, and they are gonna execute them for no reason. They just think that they're the one that poisoned them, and they just held them by the neck and like, you're gonna execute you right now. So there are people's life in danger. And all of a sudden, before she answers that, she walks to the corner of the room. She picks up a flower called the rhododendron, which causes nausea and difficulty breathing. And she fucking ate it with no issues, right? It's like, Gyokyo was like, is it delicious? It's like, why are you eating that? She's like, it's poison. They're like, what? You just ate it with no issues? And she's like, it's fine. It just causes nausea and difficulty breathing. I'm used to it already. So then she talks in a more roundabout way. She says like, oh, do you know that different parts of the plant have poison, and then wood, when you chip it, is when it's burned, it's like it causes poison as well, right? Like maybe some part is the leaf that has the poison, some part is the stalk, there's the flower petals, and then wood, when you chip them away and burn them specifically, it has poison. So she didn't really tell Jinshi like what is the problem with like where the poison came from. She just said it in a roundabout way, and Jinshi was like, oh, solved. And you know what happened. So what happened, you find out, is that basically those soldiers at the start of the scene, you saw them like cutting the wood, throwing them in the fire. So now you know for sure, and it clicked in your head, everyone's head, that the wood is the problem, the wood is the poison, and was never the food to begin with. And there you go, the village is saved. Yeah. So then you get to see another cute cat Mao Mao moment, because I don't know why, but like he decided to ask Mao Mao to make an aphrodisiac, and she gets really, really excited, right? Because she's not only a food tester, she likes working with poison, she likes making it and all the kind of stuff. She gets super excited and she becomes a cat again. Oh my god, I like Elyza. I really love her when she becomes a cat. So cute. And then squish her cheeks,
And she's like,
yeah.
did you? I love when she goes
Yeah.
sneak. It's so cute.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, she perks up. It's like, okay, I get to do poison. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in charge of making the aphrodisiac. She's like, okay, fine. I don't know what you're gonna use it for, but I'll do it. Don't want to display order. And then time skip, you see at nighttime where Jinshi is walking to his room, and a girl just suddenly peeks out the corner in her room and says like, "Oh, Jinshi-sama, do you wanna hang out with me and have some tea?" And he's like, "No, thank you. I'm busy." So then from here they explain that Jinshi is a test in the rear palace, placed by the emperor to test if the girls are loyal to the emperor, because he's really, really handsome and a lot of girls are charmed, right? So you realize that he's placed here for a purpose. He's not here like a low ranking person. He's just there testing the girls if you're loyal to him or are you loyal to like the emperor, because the whole point is that the emperor needs concubine, not him, right?
Yeah.
And you realize that this man is a fucking freak and master from Mao Mao, okay? Because he's like, oh, the way she stares out at me, I love it, or something like that.
Yeah. He's very quickly you learn he is very different than he portrays himself when he's walking around and like talking to all the women and stuff like that. When he's on official business, like when the doors are closed, he is first of all the biggest brat ever. And also, yeah, he's like obsessed with Mao Mao. So quickly, he is like, I have to crack this egg. It's the chase. He definitely is someone who like adores the chase, and you see that develop so quickly with Mao Mao, because she's so repulsed by him that she literally, someone pointed out earlier in chat, the side guy, I can't remember his name. Yeah, Gao Shun, right?
Gao Shun.
He reminds or lets her know like, hey, can you stop looking at him with such hatred in your eyes? It's distracting him.
That happened in episode 3. She
so
like confronted her.
I love Gao Shun so
Gao
much.
Shun's
I
so
love
funny.
He's
him.
such a G. He's
So
goat. He's
much.
the goat.
Yeah. So yeah, he's down bad for Mao Mao, and he's like, Gao Shun's like, oh, okay, and he's like, oh shit, I should probably lock my door because of the voucher earlier. And then Mao Mao was like, oh, the one who gave you the voucher might visit you tonight. I'm like, okay, I'm scared now. So time skip to the next day, you meet the Gao Shun. So basically from then on, you start to learn that his name's Gao Shun, right? And you met the physician as well, which obviously didn't know how to save like Li Hua-sama and Gyokuro-sama's baby. And he's not really happy with Mao Mao, He's like, he's wary of her, because like, who the fuck is she? Suddenly Gao Shun just brings Mao Mao to this clinic and starts saying, oh, there's a lot of herbs in here. You're free to take whatever you want to create your aphrodisiac. She goes all cat mode again. She's just rating everything. And yeah, she's so excited until she got found out by Jin. She's like, what is this? Like a happy dance first? What? Oh, shit. So then she gathered all the herbs. She makes chocolate, and then she has also like some leftover chocolate, right? So she decided to make some, I'm assuming that's buns. I can't really tell what are those, but she coated the buns in chocolate as well and left them to chill at the side. And
is it weird I want to try making it? Because it was all natural ingredients or whatever, right? I'm like kind of like I don't don't know what it is. The show awakened the apothecary within me. I want to try doing all this stuff now. I'm like,
You want to make the aphrodisiac on your own?
kind of. I mean, I'll be the only one that eats it, but like, I kind of want to try it. Like, it looks fun.
Do it. Wait, I want to see you do it. I want to watch you do it.
Wait, I'll have to tell you
now.
guys if it actually works. We're gonna be testing it.
Okay, yeah, for
do.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Take lots of pictures.
Wow! What do you mean take pictures after taking an aphrodisiac?
The chocolate. Correction. The chocolate. What are you thinking? Take a picture of the food. She crazy. She's a freak, guys. She don't even need some aphrodisiac. She's a freak.
Yo, chat, clip that. Out of context, it sounds like something crazy.
Now that's a clip for today. We said it. But yeah, unfortunately for her, when she made the chocolate buns to chill off, the other 3 ladies in waiting accidentally ate it. So by the time she came back, they were all glued and like moaning to each other.
Oh my
clinging onto each other on
God.
the floor. They're dressed slightly
Cool.
revealing and stuff. And it's like, shit, what happened here? They
That
had
scene
a
made me
lady in
go
waiting.
pee-pee overheat. Like, my brain during that scene, I was like, oh my God. I was like overstimulated. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, and literally is like, what did you do? Like the head lady in waiting asked her. She's like, nothing. I just made like overnight midnight snack for myself because there's like extra choco. And then she literally just said, well, at least they didn't go all the way. And then she got hit on the head because she said that. I love the two chemistry that these two have. She's like, the one's like crazy and she's like putting her back in her place.
Mm.
So yeah, time skill later, once the girls are recovered at night, the aphrodisiac she made was very, very strong. And she gave it to like Jinshi-sama because he requested for the aphrodisiac, right?
Yeah, and also I want to point
Yukio-sama-
out the important thing is this freak of nature Mao Mao, in the snacks, the chocolate snacks she made as an aside with the extra ingredients, that was also an aphrodisiac. It was just weaker than the little aphrodisiac pills or treats that she gives him, that he asked for. The dessert that she makes for herself has a little bit, but she says, oh, I
Resistance.
can, yeah, she has a resistance to it. Like, that is insane that she's like, I have a little resistance. How many times has she munched on aphrodisiacs to have a resistance to it? This girl, I have so many questions. There's so many things that have happened off screen before we start the show. That's like,
Yeah.
she's insane. I can't.
I'm
It
on
was
the goat.
really funny.
Mhm.
She's the goat. She's
Simply
the goat.
the goat.
She's casually saying like, oh, aphrodisiac, I was resistant to it. That doesn't affect me. It's like, oh, okay. How many times did you tested it to get like a resistance to it? But never mind that. But Gokuo-sama was like jokingly and asking her like, oh, what if you made some aphrodisiac for the emperor? But then like Mama told her that this is 3 times stronger than the usual aphrodisiac, and Gokuo-sama got really, really scared. She's like, three times? You mean the duration that goes on for? Or like, what do you mean? She is so adorable, Gokuo-sama. But yeah, they pass her passing the aphrodisiac, and then they all leave to do their stuff. Okay, this part where Gokuo-sama is leaving with her head lady in waiting, she's like, oh, she is reliable, right? It kind of scared me a little bit because like the lighting changed because she exited from the room to outside the room, so there's no light outside, right? And she's like, she's reliable. It made me felt in that sense like, what if she's actually evil? The some part of me just thought that maybe she's actually evil and she wants to use Mama for a pawn for something. You never know. But that's my opinion. Maybe everyone has different opinion.
Do you still
And
feel that way after watching the show? Like, you have a suspicion, or you think she's genuine?
Maybe because I read some part of the manga or something like that.
Okay.
I don't
Ooh,
So I
season
haven't
2.
say anything. Yeah,
Mhm,
season 2.
mhm.
Season 2 is coming out soon. Okay, next year, guys. Next
Oh
year.
my goodness. Well, is
So
it?
excited, Activation 1.
Because
What?
It's coming out next year. Yeah.
because if you guys didn't hear, I found this out today. Apparently, the manga writer, he went to jail for like tax evasion or something like
Oh,
that.
that
Was
one
it-
is fixed already.
I thought it was the
fixed already.
artist. It was
Oh, the
the
artist.
artist,
Okay,
artist,
okay,
artist.
okay.
But that issue is fixed already, and they're like paying it back already.
Oh,
but,
sick! Cool.
Yeah, you're all good, all good.
Yeah,
There's not
that's
cancel
season
anything.
2, tax evasion 1. I'm
Let's
kidding,
go!
No.
Everybody, pay your taxes. Pay your taxes. Pay your taxes.
That's a joke.
Yeah, but like some part of it is just Gokuo-sama is like really, really nice, but sometimes there's some animes that really trick you into like nice people end up having like really like malicious intent behind those like personality. So I'm just a little bit cautious, and maybe because I like read some part of the manga. Not saying that she's evil.
I
but
read
there's,
her
like,
as
a plot.
cunning. I read her as cunning more than like just straight up evil. Like in the same way that like Mao Mao, right? Like she's never really saying her full intentions or all of what she's thinking. She gives only what she needs to give and will ask the questions to pull stuff out of people even if it's not exactly what they're saying. So like I would, at least from based on the anime after this season, I read her as very cunning and smart and careful, not evil. But I guess we'll see what happens in season 2. Maybe my opinion will change.
See what happens. Maybe they will show something in season 2. Who knows?
I don't know. I didn't. I like to think I can usually get a good read on most people, and Gyokyo, I never really got any like other underhanded intentions. Any sort of cunning and any sort of like sly sort of things isn't necessarily towards Mama or Jinshi or anyone else in specific, as it is just
playing the game.
Shit. Yeah, it's just shit she had to do to protect herself, right?
Yeah.
Because like, again, there's a whole bunch of catty, petty shit that goes on when it comes to having to live in this sort of landscape, especially when she's one of the most high-profile people in the Rear Palace. So, yeah. I would agree she is cunning, but it doesn't make her a bad person.
I wouldn't say she's a bad person.
Nor do I think she at that time, and nor really throughout any part of the show, nor I didn't sense any sort of underhanded or any sort of hidden motives from her.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, season 1 you don't really see anything, and you really wouldn't think much of it unless maybe you read like a bit of the manga and you rewatch it. Maybe that's why I felt like something is a little bit off. I wouldn't say she's like, maybe I used the wrong words, but like she's evil. She's like, she probably has something she wants to do, but she's not. She's like Mama or something like that. She's like low-key about it. So I wouldn't say she's entirely evil. She's just a little bit cunning, and she's doing her own things, right? She just want to survive in this. She's like, she has a daughter and everything. It just still doesn't secure a spot, She just other people she has to fight with.
I love me a learned bitch.
And then after Gyokyo-sama and the other ladies left, you suddenly see another Jinshi X Mama moment where he just goes up behind her and then kisses her on the neck. It's like, Gokuro-sama was like, oh, good job for today, blah, blah. And he just left all of a sudden. But it ends up with Mama was like, oh my god, please don't do that.
Low-key,
oh my god, that movie.
Honestly, as much as I enjoyed that part, I was with Mama. I'm like, Jinshi, the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you putting a target on my poor girl's back? Like, you're trying to get her killed. You're trying to get her killed.
He wasn't in his right mind because he thought he was goated with the sauce that he could handle the aphrodisiac and the snacks she made, but obviously he was not.
I don't remember.
Yes, that was the whole thing. He snuck one. And
I guess he did.
He got all flirty with her after he took one because he thought he was hot shit, but he was not. This is a reoccurring thing. He thinks he is hot shit, but he is not hot shit. Yeah.
For me, it's just like, for anime watcher, for us who watch the anime, we think it's cute because like we want to ship them together, right? But in real life, if that kind of situation happens, I don't even know this man, and he just do this to me, and I'll be so creeped out. Like, get your hand away from me.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's in the context of fantasy where your ships always love each other and everything like that. Obviously, guys, don't be going and taking an aphrodisiac and pulling up on a girl you met 2 days ago unless she wants it, okay?
Yeah, consent, guys. Consent is important.
Consent.
Consent. Shut up. Episode 2, basically, you end with someone walking in the open at night and suddenly seeing a ghost on top of the castle wall. So that's basically it for episode 2. Starts out really strong with the whole like poison thing, and then just gradually move on to it being soft and a lot of things you learn, right? I like it. It's not too much. It basically like it's just building up to something. So episode 1 and 2, nothing much. You're just learning here and there. And then I think episode 3 has to be one of my favorite in my opinion. Episode yes,
it's so emotional.
It's so emotional because I'm not basing my favorites off like 1 to 24 episodes. I'm just basing off 1 to episode 8. So 3 and 4 is basically my favorite. So episode 3, it starts off with a beautiful lady appearing, and then she's talking to Jinshi in the room. I think you might recognize her from episode 2, I believe, at the start after the soldiers were shown being poisoned. There's like the brief like appearance by the lady. It's the same lady, and don't know what she's talking about with Jinshi, and she suddenly just run away, right? And then suddenly nighttime, the ghost appears in the courtyard again, and people get scared. So this is becoming an issue. There's a ghost appearing in the courtyard, on the walls and stuff. And the next day, the
They're in
ladies
your
are
walls.
waiting. They're in your walls. Yeah, keep safe, guys. We don't know what the ghost want, you know?
The big titty
Ladies
ghost.
in waiting. Yo, we don't talk about that. Ladies in waiting are basically talking, and then suddenly you see Mama's cooking some cold remedy, and they start pitting her again because her arm isn't healed at all, and they worry about her. And they suddenly talk about the ghost rumors and stuff. Oh, do you know there's a ghost at like this certain place, and it keeps appearing every single night? And she's like, huh, okay, I don't really trust ghost story, but sure. So she, after finished cooking the stuff, she went back to the other side where she met with her old friend she made before she became a lady in waiting as well. And this lady, I swear to God, this old friend has so much rumor, and she's literally the person that she goes to.
She's such a gossip,
New
yeah.
story. She actually is a gossiper. Like, it's so funny. She doesn't even listen to like the ladies in waiting. She just go back to her old friends like, yo, you got any news? It's like, yo, I got you. Okay. There's this ghostly lady dancing under the moonlight at the eastern wall, specifically the eastern castle wall. And Mamo just thinks that, oh, this is some stupid ghost story that like people made up, that concubines try to leave, or ladies in waiting try to leave, right? So they climb the wall, they just jump into the moat and drown there. Typical ghost story. She doesn't believe in it, right? And then she's like, okay, let's move on. You don't need to think so much about that. She goes to visit the physician, who is very, very cozy to her now. He's really chill of her instead of being worried. I don't know what happened, but he trusts her now, right? And then they were supposed to have a time together and relax, and suddenly Jinshi visits, and she starts thinking, yo, what's your purpose in this weird palace? Why are you here? Like, are you a girl? Are you a guy? And she deadass had the imagination that he's like the emperor's favorite or something, like his personal favorite. So you see an image of her imagination of him just being all shy with the emperor, like, oh my god, please don't do this, please don't do that. It kind of creeped me out. But yeah, he visits her and tells her about the whole ghost thing. He too doesn't believe it's a ghost as well, because it doesn't make sense. Some people just don't believe it's a ghost, some people do. He said, what do you think about it? And she says, just a typical ghost story, I don't really believe in it. And he's like, what do you think about the sleepwalking theory though? And it's like, oh, that might be a thing actually. And he really pestered her to like, how do you cure this shit? And then she's like, I don't want to try, but like, I only can do medicine, I can cure sleepwalking theory and stuff like that. But she said she'll try it no matter what, because he kept like, come on, you can do it, right? You can do it, right? So then at night they go out to check, and Gao Shun is accompanying Mao Mao. At this point, people who don't know Chinese, because Gao Shun he keeps calling Mao 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 sama, so like respecting her, right? Because she's really good with the knowledge and stuff. But Mama was like, please don't call me with the sama at the end, just call me Mao Mao instead. And he's like, how about I call you Xiao Mao? So Xiao Mao is basically Xiao is basically small, right? So it's basically little Mao Mao, you know, something like that.
Little meow.
Little meow. But little cat,
So cute. Xiao Mao.
I
Yeah,
like
so
that
Xiao-
moment though.
Yeah,
I really
Xiao is
like that
basically
moment.
little or small. That's in Chinese. Right?
Xiao is used as an affectionate term, right? Like it's something used for like
Most of the time
little
people
kids.
will like shout something, and then like it's usually
people
more
you're
affectionate
fond of.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh my god, wait.
Nice. 'Cause, like I remember at the start, Gaoshin was so. I mean, like you know, random ass girl knows her stuff. All of a sudden, gets like a really gets the promotion of her life. You know, being in this area, it's like what are her intentions? What is she up to? Because I remember Gaoshin was very very hesitant to have her on board
Yep.
the first time. So it's really nice to see them go from being like, "The fuck are you trying to do? You're trying to kill one of the concubines?" You're like, "You're just a little meow meow now."
I'm gonna call you Xiao Mao now.
It's so cute. Also,
Just casually gives her a nickname.
Sweet. It's really sweet.
shout out. I didn't know. I love that Zeddy has such knowledge of language. I didn't know that Zhao meant like little. And one of my favorite games, one of the characters in it, the game's called Dark Cloud, and one of the like playable characters is this little cat girl, and her name is Zhao, and I'm like, oh, maybe they named her Zhao because she's like a little cat. So thank you for this enlightenment. I now love my game a little bit more.
Yeah, but basically, if they're called Xiao in a sense, there's like different, like, I guess you want to say it like different wording for it, because Xiao is, it depends on how he calls her, but like, you know, Japanese, right, kanji, you can say a word and he could have like different letters and stuff. So in this case, definitely, I feel for sure Xiao Mao is definitely him referring to her as like a little Mao Mao kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like it. As he just suddenly comes up with a nickname for her. I think it's really cute. They get to have like their like bonding session here, and they like loosen out with each other. You know, they don't not so tense anymore. You know.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. So many characters give her a nickname. So there's like Mao Mao, there's Zhao Mao, and there's straight up just Apothecary, which is what Jinshi calls her. And I think that's kind of, I feel like you don't really see that in a lot of shows where like a bunch of characters all have different like nicknames for the main character. It feels very homely. I like it a lot. I think it's cute.
I think it's cute too, yeah. So this is the part we talked about earlier. Gaoshin's like calling her a nickname, and it's like, oh, by the way, could you please stop staring down Jinshi-sama like an insect, and so like he's like a horny for that. So you literally see a scene where like Jinshi was like, oh my gosh, she stares at me like I'm like a venomous like caterpillar or something. And she's like, oh my god, okay, I'll try my best, but I can't guarantee it. It's like, okay, as long as you understand, that's good. So then later they walk, and you see a ghost, quote unquote ghost, that's dancing. And then Gaoshin already know that it's definitely not a ghost, and tells her that lady is basically called Fuyo, and she is scheduled to be given to a military officer as a reward. So that's why she's dancing there. And afterwards, she's like, okay, I figured out it's not a ghost. It's actually a person just sleepwalking and dancing there. So next day, she tries to figure it out and talk to the physician. And he tells her that 2 years ago, she was actually a very, very skilled dancer, Fuyo. But she failed her dance. She tripped in front of the emperor.
Oh no.
And the emperor was like, okay, this girl sucks, and she casually just walks away. Like, how could you do that? You're not even gonna like get on your knees and help her up, then walk away. Like, he just stood up, all right, fuck you, went away. And she just literally on the floor, she's like sad and all that. So from then onward, she decided to shut herself because she didn't get the attention of the emperor, right?
Yeah.
And she also learned that she is a princess from a small vassal state. And that is the reason why the physician thinks that she doesn't want to go back. And then maybe she's sleepwalking because she's stressed out the fact that she has to get married to like someone else, you know, the military officer that she doesn't know is what he thinks. But she visit the gossiper friend again, telling she has all the news. And she learned that the Fuyo actually came from the north side first, and then she moved over to the east side. And then from then on, Mama literally put everything, the puzzle pieces in her head, and she figured out again. And then you will see the explanation. She said it's basically sleepwalking. It's caused by stress, because she, again, has past experience where she tells you a story of the past courtisan whose deal was, she was about to get bought out by someone, but the deals for some reason fell through, and she started sleepwalking. The thing is, the deal, it was with a creepy old man with already a wife and children. You know, this guy, creepy old guy, really wanted to buy her, and she was really stressed out, and she doesn't want to leave, I guess, right? And Jinshi was like, okay, there's definitely more to this. You can't just like end it here. There's like, I don't think that's the only story. And she doesn't want to speak up. She's just like, nah, that's it. I don't want to tell you anymore. That is what I think, right? She doesn't want to like say with speculations and just like say without concrete proof. Days pass by, and it's finally the day that like Fuyo gets sent. But past few days, she was staying in her room with her guards. And finally the day it comes to see her off, Gyokyo-sama was there, and she talks about the whole issue. And I like how Mama really trusts her and open up to her, and she's like, this is my speculations, but there was a past courtisan. They had a scheme where the girl pretended to be sick, right? So the first deal was basically by another friend, and they're like, okay, I'm not gonna call off the deal because she's sick. And then because she is sick, the price of her worth is like halved. and the real person that wanted her bought her off at a discounted price. I'm sorry, but like, yeah, but that's a way to like buy the girl.
The
that
Black
he likes.
Friday deals. We got Cyber Monday
Yeah.
coming up. Get your courtesans at the Cyber Monday. That's
Half
the best
price.
deal.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
right. For a steal, for sure. Don't do that. But yeah, so she thinks that is something similar, and she said that in what she thinks is that the officer she's getting bought out by is probably her childhood friend, right? And her body is still pure. She didn't get touched by the emperor or anything because she purposely failed the dance
Mhm.
with the emperor. She tripped on purpose so that the empress would
Supposedly.
ignore her. Yeah, supposedly.
Supposedly.
All this
Yeah.
is speculation.
Conjecture.
We don't know the actual thing.
All
right?
of it is simply conjecture.
So they think that she basically tripped and she faked to the emperor that she cannot dance so that the emperor cannot look at her and will never call on her again. So that means her body is still pure. Support for the guy that she liked, right? And she faked the sleepwalking. So if she faked the sleepwalking, people would think that she is ill, and that will lower the price for the guy to buy her out. And the funny thing is that
And prevent the emperor from giving her a second chance. They make a point to say like, oh, you know, her acting a fool, acting crazy, whoa, would mean that the emperor is definitely like, yeah, just let it go. I don't want to deal with this creature. And so, yeah, that big reveal is the way that they do it. That was like, I think one of the moments earlier in the show where I was like, okay, I really like this show because it was like this beautiful, like, up until that point, they're teasing it, and they lay it out where allegedly, right, the whole master plan is these two loved each other from the start. The soldier guy, whatever he was at the time, was like a lowly commoner, and she's a princess, right? And basically, they mastermind, in theory, this whole way for her and him to, basically for her to kind of lower her status and him to raise his status just enough so that they can meet in the middle. And the way that they do it, I don't know, the way that they do it all and explain it all is like so freaking cool. And it was like maybe one of my favorite moments in the show. Like this entire episode as a whole, the way that it ties, it's like one perfect bow, this episode in particular. And it's really good. It's like definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. So yeah, she faked the sleepwalking, and you realize that she danced on the eastern walls, even though she came from the northern side. She realized that the reason why she danced on the eastern wall is because the battle for the soldier, her childhood friend, basically took place in the east side. So that's why she danced on the eastern wall to pray for a safe return. I think that's really cute.
Yeah.
And I really like the whole like the relationship between them. And then you see them walking. You see her walking all the way to the gate. She meets her childhood friend when the door closes and when they get in the carriage. My God, it was so adorable. I'm like so happy for them. But I was like low-key sad because like Fuyo seems like a really, really good character that could stay in the anime for longer. But unfortunately, it's only used for like one episode.
Yeah.
I love it so freaking much. I love this two's couple story. And you see Gyokyo is really like, oh, do you think that I'm like a bad person for envying what you had? And it's like, you know, that's so sad because you realize that Gyokyo is fighting with other concubines for one person's attention, whereas this couple is like, oh, you get who you like, and that's it. You get to like go do whatever you want, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's.
Yeah, I think it's. Sorry, go ahead.
No. You can go.
Yeah, I don't think it's the fact that Gyokyo envies her because, you know, she's out here fighting for the Emperor's hand. Gyokyo strikes me as someone who is very proud of what she's doing, of what her role currently is. Like, she's perfectly fine with it. But having heard, you know, a supposed story, you know, what if, about people finding, like, love in these times and actually being able to act upon that.
Yeah.
Like, you can sense that while Gyokyo doesn't really have anyone like that, you can sense the sort of envy.
Yeah.
Or longing that she would have, like, oh, imagine if I weren't in my current circumstances, could I too also have that sort of fairy tale ending at the end, which is really sweet.
Yeah.
We got to see into her character as well.
I think it was also kind of so okay. One, there's two. I felt two major emotions during that whole thing. When it was leading up to the girl and the guy. See, this is my like. I watch way too much like sad anime or like intense anime. I was really expecting for their union to not go through, like something was gonna happen last minute. I was waiting for a moment like that, so I was actually so anxious. I'm like, just go, don't stop, just keep going, don't pause, don't do anything, don't talk about it, shut up and just go. So I was really stressed out during that because I don't really watch like anime like this where it's like just kind of a good time. So I was stressed. Also, honestly, that conversation between Gyokyo and Mao when she says, "Is it bad that I envy her?" I felt it made me feel really like bittersweet because it was like she just
truly.
wants that, like, you know, she's working so hard to I guess make a better life for herself, for her family, and whatever, and like it just really like for a moment it hit you like, damn, like she must not feel very special in the situation that she's in, even though the funny thing is she's the favored at that moment. She is the favored concubine, and even for the favored concubine to feel like, you know, I wish I had real true love, not this almost like superficial, you know, competitive style love. Like, I don't know. It made me feel really bad for her. I was like, oh no, my heart.
It makes me feel bad for her, but she's definitely not someone you pity because, again, I think she takes pride in what she does. Like, for us, in our context and day and age, when we think about getting with other people, it's mostly in the romantic sense. Here, having children with other people or whatnot, it's all business transactions. It's literally all political plays. So, yeah, not once did I ever feel any pity or do I feel bad for her. I mean, yeah, I do feel bad for her in a sense where it's just like, you can tell in that one instance, like, despite all the affairs she puts on, despite the sort of energy she puts into, like, her appearances and how she portrays herself, like, part of her, too, makes her ask, like, oh, had I not been born into the position I was, had I not been put into this, what sort of life could I have found for myself? Just, it's really less the sense of longing for, like, that love specifically, but just, like, what does that sort of freedom feel like?
Yeah. Oh, my little heart. I'm still team Gyokyo. I like her a lot.
She's a badass bitch though, no cap.
Yeah.
I don't think she ever stops being a badass. I love her so much. Like, the fact that, like, I don't know, because, like, just based off of how, like, what we know about the context of the current society that Apothecary is built in, like, you can imagine not a lot of people, like, they probably wouldn't make as much of their situation as they could. So the fact that Gyokyo could, like, you know, just girl boss and be a boss ass bitch in the middle of it, like, I don't know. I love her. She's the goat. It goes for her, but also as well as all the other concubines too. Like, they're all really interesting how they managed to get here and what they necessarily do to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, I've watched like a few shows like here and there. They have similar situation, right? The king just have a bunch of girl, like a harem for him, and then like they all have to fight for attention to rise up in rank to become like an actual concubine, right? But in this case, you don't really see like a rivalry. They really like openly like oh, I hate you, and then start to like make something, like cause an accident to the other concubines. And the other show that I watched is basically all out war. They're trying to jack each other down. They're trying to make it so that the king will start hating them. So yeah, and it's really sad because in that case, they're like, oh, we need to fight for attention, and then like they don't get the love. Because you see, in the other sense, we don't really know what happens in this anime because I don't want to see what happens between the emperor and the concubines. Just keep things locked in the room. Don't need to show it to us. But yeah, and the other side is we're like, oh, she's done with you, and then you're like, okay, go away, I need to do my work now. So maybe the emperor is here, like in here is like the same situation where like he's done with her, and then you go away, and then I do my work, kind of thing. But we'll never know. But I agree with BB, it's kind of like bittersweet, and it's more like maybe she envies that because like she has like the Fuyo and the guy has like a true love, I guess. you know, in the situation, like what if she was not a concubine, she actually can like live outside and be all like flirty and stuff instead of all the work she has to do, and how political it all is in the end, you know.
Grass
That's
is
my
always
opinion.
greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Grass is always greener on their side, unless it's a.
I do want to mention though, since you mentioned the Emperor, not to. I don't think I'm giving too much away mentioning it now. One thing I do like about the Apothecary Diaries is that I'm glad the Emperor doesn't seem like a fucking sleazebag.
Yes.
I was so prepared for him to be the absolute worst piece of shit fucker I would hate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thankfully, he doesn't seem to be awful like what you think about most. Sorry to say, men at this time frame. You know, like Because what have we known about, like, emperors or just in general about having a society like this? Like, women are looked down upon, like, men did this, did that, like, they don't have any qualms about whatnot, XYZ. So, I'm really glad the one thing Apothecary wasn't completely, like, quote-unquote, historically accurate on was, like, the type of guy that the emperor was. Like, he's very imposing. He very is just like, yeah, I'm literally like your tether to the heavens type shit, like that sort of aura. But I'm very glad that he also might not be an actual sleazebag.
I think he's pretty fair. He's pretty fair. Like, obviously, like, he is.
I'm so glad.
He gives the aura that he is gonna take what he wants regardless. But he's like so far, and as you watch more episodes, it kind of bounces around. But he just seems like, you know, he's a guy. Like, he's not a disgusting guy. He's just a guy.
we don't talk about his dad though. We don't talk about his dad. His dad, we'll save it for later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll save it for later.
He fills out the emperor role, and that's pretty much all we get to know at the moment. And I'm
At
like,
the
okay,
moment.
thank God.
You don't really know much of him.
I'm
at the moment,
glad.
yeah.
I'm glad you're not horrible. Thank you so much.
So far.
Like a really, really old king with, like, you know, I don't know. But
Yeah, he's in
as
his
you get
like
a cute ending.
30s, something
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah, for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
He looks decent, and he's not the worst, I guess. But you get a cute ending with the two couples reuniting. Absolutely adorable. I loved it. And then it ends off episode 3 with the emperor talking to Gyokyo-sama and asks, like, oh, I request for Mamo's help. I need help, Mamo's assistance. And that's basically episode 3. I loved it so freaking much. The couple stories was really nice. I hoped it was longer. Bro, Fuyo was so pretty. She could have been in the ranks amongst the foreign consort, you know? I'm saying she got big boobs as well.
Yo, yeah, she was such a baddie, bro. And you know what? I'm happy for her. She chased the bag, and the bag is love, and I support it.
Yeah, I loved it. So, okay,
Oh, so
drink water, guys. Drink water, guys.
Yeah, drink water. Everybody drink water. Also, we're already at an hour 25, and we're only on episode 4. So let's do a little bit more paraphrasing so we can actually get through the whole season.
Sure. Okay. So episode 4 is basically, I'm just gonna summarize it. Episode 4 is you just Malmos just get requested in by the emperor and get sent to Crystal Pavilion because we finally realized that Lihua is still sick until this day, and right, she's still in bed. She's becoming more like sick. She's not even recovering at all, right? And the ladies in waiting on her side are such an asshat. They're just bullying her, pushing her, and all that kind of stuff. But yes, Emperor requested her to save Lihua-sama because he knows her skills, and yeah. But every time he tried to do something, she gets rejected, right? And then Jinshi sees it. Finally noticed that, oh, she has issues. Another fucking Taskaru moment where he just dragged Mao to his side and tell her to go inside to talk with a deep voice. Taskaru. With his presence, she finally get to feed Lihua-sama the stuff. And she figured out what's the issue. Why is she still sick? Because Lihua basically choked on her food, and she was like wiping down her face. And you realize that when she wiped down her face, there's like white powder on her fingers. So that means that she still has makeup on even though she's still sick in the bed, right? So they questioned her who put the makeup on, and they said like, oh, they want to make her look beautiful no matter what. Fucking ladies in waiting got slapped, and then powder was shown under her. An insanely badass moment. I freaking love Mama for that moment. She went crazy, and she's like, oh, did you not know this is fucking poison and it's already banned in the first place? And then she forces her to look at Lihua as like, look, will you really make her happy? Do you think the stuff that killed her baby would make her happy? And she went badass moment, commanded everyone to do this, do that, and they're like, okay, we'll do it because they're scared of her. She finally
Yeah.
puts them into her place. That was an insane
It's
badass
so
moment that I saw from her.
scary. I mean, well deserved, right? Like that was such a that entire section where every time she would try. The funny thing is, right? So the emperor orders her to go and take care of Li Hua, right? And one, I was like, can't she just say that it was under the emperor's orders? Like, I did get like a little bit of it. I felt like she could have just spoke up a bit more, but she was very dead set on like her place in society, and she's like, oh, I can't say anything. I can't say anything. I can't argue with them. So she would just kind of allow them to shoo her away, and so all this like day after day, she's trying to go take care of her, a Lady Lihua, and they just not letting her. And so it builds up to this moment where she finally gets to take care of her, and these bitches is all their fault. Like they are literally the reason that the baby died, and they are the reason that fucking Lady Lihua was almost gonna die. Yeah.
There's so many ladies in waiting, and none of them could do their job properly. You know, she had way more than Gyokyo-sama. Gyokyo has 4, well, including Mama, that's 5. But this Lihua-sama, she has like how many? Like maybe like 9, 10. None of them could take care of her. That's insane. You know. But yeah, cues on later, and then Jinshi is surprised that Mama was like, oh shit, I fucked up. And then you get to see a speed up version where Lihua-sama is actually getting taken care of properly. She gets eaten like the food, like nice, actual proper nutritious food that she can actually eat it. And the environment changed, open the windows, etc. Drinks tea to flush out the poison. And then the concubine that actually placed the makeup on her got caught in the confinement because she hid the powder for Lihua, right? Even though it's banned. And I don't know why the guy that was supposed to take the powder away to confiscate it also got punished. Poor guy though, how was he supposed to know? I feel bad for him.
I mean,
but yeah, days
did
passed
his job
by
properly.
but how was he supposed to know? If days passed by, she just used Jinshi-sama. She's like, you want to do anything for me? He's like, yeah, anything. Okay, make me a steam bath then. So steam bath is basically like for a sauna, so they can start sweating out the poison, right? And he's such a simp for her, and he's like, okay, I'll do it for you. Emily makes the steam bath. And Lihua basically at that point it's already recovered from quite a while. She's like, why don't you just let me die, you know? And Mama said like, if you really wanted to, we could, but the fact that you continue to eat and try to survive on is the fact that she wants to live. And it really hit hard, right? Because
yeah, that scene was really touching. It was so, because it was like the first time, you know, when we see her before that scene, Lady Lihua is kind of portrayed as like this ignorant and arrogant, you know, woman. Like she's so one-dimensional, like not a good character. Like you don't like her, you know, or you're kind of made to not like her. And then this scene kind of single-handedly shatters those thoughts, because it was like, oh fuck, this woman lost her baby and she's destroyed. Like no amount of arrogance or ignorance beforehand can make you forget that that's something that has happened to her that can't change. And the delivery on that line, you know, it hurts the heart, it hurts the soul.
It hurts even more because they show like the sad flashback to when like her baby, her moments with her baby. She's just like, you know, cuddling with the baby and stuff. It hit really harder, you know. But I almost teared out at that scene. But repeat the few more days where like they take care of her, and finally the lady in waiting that was banned and confinement returned, and she said she won't make the mistake, and she asked Mao to rest. And you can tell Lihua-sama is getting better at this point because her facial, like, is everything is like coming back. She's not as bony, and she asked her to get some water, which you can tell that she forgave the lady in waiting, and she's fine. And finally, 2 months later, actually 2 months, it took 2 months. She's finally better, and you kind of see like a character development. She's not as arrogant, but maybe the reason why she's arrogant is because back then her baby was sick. That's why you can't really tell what her actual personality is. But you see she's really, really nice and everything. And Mama was tired, and my god, the Lihua moment and the Lihua and Mama moment where she's like patting her head like, there, yeah, you did good. You know, so adorable.
Yeah, very
like
motherly.
Yes, I love that moment. Yes, I adore it. It's so good.
And the titties are so fat.
Oh, girl.
Sorry.
Well, time for Mama to leave the Crystal Pavilion, and Liho was like, "Can you think I can actually give birth?" It's like, "Why don't you try it herself, bro?" Right? Because Mama obviously sees and knows why Emperor would prefer her, because she got that asset, right?
Mhm.
Before she left, she departed her with some knowledge that she could use towards the Emperor, yeah, to seduce the king. And the secret technique was actually taught by her sisters at the brothel. Like
It was
three
definitely
sisters.
okay. It was definitely the boob work, you
The
know?
tit job.
Yeah. That
They
one.
didn't learn how to give a tit job.
Yeah, that's what it was, right? I was like, is that what she was implying?
You will never know, but like, you know, it was already hinted something with her like assets, her great assets that she has over the others. But yeah, she returns later, and then for a period of time, you realize that the Emperor visited Gyokyo way lesser, and she's happy about that because she doesn't get
She
enough
gets
sleep
to
whenever
sleep.
yeah, she can actually sleep better
Yeah.
now. It's so funny. I'm like, King, can you do better? Like, why are you making your girlies, your wifeys, like sleep lesser, huh? You need to do
Because they're
something
up
if
all
they can't
night
sleep well.
fucking. What you mean?
He needs
Yeah,
an
I'm like,
heir, obviously.
Yeah,
He
they
needs
banging.
an heir.
It's funny though. It was really
Horizontal
funny. But Mama
tango.
kind of really looked at her because she's the one who caused this whole thing. She's like, oh, I wonder why the Emperor started visiting me less. I wonder why too. She's the one who taught Lee someone the trick to like make the Emperor stay longer. So at least we got a good ending where like she's kind of corrected the I want to say corrected the development because we don't really know what's her personality before that. And I can't really call her arrogant from the start. It's just because she was protecting her baby and stuff, right? And then episode ends with something burning, and then suddenly colorful flames appearing, like some like horrifying curse of shit, and a guy with burn hand. I left episode 4 because of Li Hua, and that's literally it.
Yeah, literally. No,
Literally, her moment to shine was there, and I loved it. Maybe you liked it. You liked the episode 4.
Yeah. I mean, I just love seeing Mamo.
do Malmo.
What is it? Putting her fucking foot down.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing her slap the shit out of that lady in waiting. Because again, I mean, like,
that scene was insane. That was a good one.
because again, and like you think about it, right? Everyone knows just how dangerous this powder is, and yet for some reason, vanity still took above health, genuine health. Like
Yeah.
they've already explained to you, like how far are you going to let your stupidity take you before you lose not only the concubine's baby, but also like the lady that you're supposed to be fucking taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really interesting being able to see like the differences between Gyokyo's lady in waiting versus like the people that take care of Lihua.
Mm-hmm.
Like just because you have 10 to 20 people all looking after you doesn't mean that they exactly know what the fuck that they're doing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any sort of feelings towards Lady Lihua, even from the last thing, because I mean, all we know is just like she's just acting upon the information that she knows. You know, it's a cutthroat world out there.
Yeah. It is a good clarification. Like in that episode, she's like, "Oh, I guess she wasn't actually like bad. It's just that she was kind of in a shell of the ladies in waiting, all kind of just being like yes men and making everyone else like kind of othering everyone outside of their bubble. So it made it hard for her to trust other people or even like understand what the hell's going on, you know?"
Yeah, it was a really good episode. It was a great episode, just letting you know exactly why Lady Lihua is here.
Damn straight.
Okay, so episode 5. Basically,
It's kind of a Passover episode. I don't know if it was because I binge watched these episodes in one night. But episode 5, I don't really remember that much. So I actually need this refresher.
Okay, episode 5. Okay, episode 5 is kind of like half-half about just two things that happen. And it's really the start of everything. So first half is basically talking about the burned hand situation, right? So a lot of stuff happened, and they were talking about how like 2 nights ago they were burning trash on the West Pit, and then this guy found a women's dress that was burned on the bottom sleeve and some wood tablets, right? Some writing tablets, don't know what that is. He threw it away, and boom, colorful flames that appear, and his hand is burnt, right? And Mama was like, she instantly knew and
Mama.
in her head, because she's a smart girl like that. She started like getting some burnt tablets. She's like, the wood tablet. She's like, is it this one? And she threw some powders, and it made the same exact colors. she explained, oh, just chemical reaction, and the burn hand weren't really burnt, they're just maybe rashes from the tablet. And literally that's it for the first half. And then she comes in and then they talk, and then poor physician can't even spend a time with Mama again. And he wants to pressure her and ask her, what about the wood tablet, and what do you think is for that? Why they burn sleeves and all that kind of stuff? And she's like, I don't know. But in her mind, she's not saying this. She thinks it's some kind of code with the tablets. Maybe some shady things going behind the scenes. But of course, it's conjecture. She's not gonna say it out loud, and it just basically ends there. And the second half of the episode is stuff arriving for her at the Jade Pavilion, where it's for the garden party.
Yeah.
The garden party, that's what we're gonna talk about in episode 6, where it's gonna happen twice a year. She was all nice, making pocket warmers and candies for people. And yeah, you basically see that they remind you again there's no luck on the tablet, the wood tablet issue. They can't really find who's the culprit and why this thing was thrown away. And then event day, they're all dressed up, and the ladies receive a accessory to quote unquote mark them and like tell people, oh, this person belongs to Gyokyo-sama, this person belongs to Niwa-sama. And Mamo gets a really, really nice necklace. I really like it. And yeah, she got caught to do a makeup, right? And then they wiped her freckles away, and she's like, wait, what
and this is the reveal. That's where that is probably the biggest detail. Other than like this episode is just a lot of setup. It's like literally the entire episode is we're gonna set up this long-term thing, this arc term thing, and then also her freckles are a freaking lie.
It's a lie. Yeah. Yeah, she got caught to do makeup, and finally you get to see the other remaining two consort, right? Ado-sama and Lishu-sama, the young one and like the oldest one. Literally the contrast there. One young and one is the oldest one. And you see Jinshi visit Gyokyo-sama, sees Mama, is like, yo, oh, Apothecary, what are you doing here? Let me see you. And she turns around. He sees her for the first time without the freckles. And she's like,
face card, never decline, honey.
Yeah, he's stun locked. He's stun locked for like a few seconds. Like, oh shit, who's this lady? She's raising me up. And he's like, you do makeup? She's like, no, I didn't do makeup. It's like, you're contradicting yourself. It's like, nah, she explains from here, did you realize that she put play to avoid getting snatched by people? And he feels very like upset, like, oh shit, do you not feel bad that people like do that to you? She's like, nah, I'm used to it. I already predicted this would happen. She doesn't give a shit, right? And she literally got marked by Jinshi with a hairpin in front of Gyokyo-sama. Gyokyo was like, okay, I don't want you guys to get marked by people. That's why I'm giving you this like necklace, accessories. And literally she got marked by Jinshi right in front of her. And Gyokyo comes to her, help her put it on properly, and says like, yeah, you already broke my promise of like being the only one for me and kind of stuff. So episode ends with like a lady who's in the silhouette and some food put in front of her, right? All the silver plates and stuff. So yeah, episode 5 is literally a setup and not really much important. What tablet it was gonna come to play later on in the future episode, and the later half of the event is set up for episode 6. Overall, I can't really say anything much. It's just interesting. The Jinshi getting like marking Mao Mao was funny.
Yeah. Also, just the sad reality for Mao Mao to think, oh, the reason like you don't just use makeup to make yourself prettier. You can use it to make yourself uglier. And so she puts on freckles, and I guess she like gives herself eye bags and stuff like that. Like I guess it's implied like she does like a full face of makeup that makes her look worse. Although the freckles are so cute, so I don't know. Who the fuck is who is out here saying I don't like freckles? What are you saying, bro? Freckles are so cute.
Like the freckles make me ugly, but like you look cute. What do you mean?
Yeah, so it's just
you have
a sad.
Remember again the context.
Yeah,
though,
of course,
like,
of course.
At that point, they want flawless.
Yeah,
Flawless, absolutely not even a what the freckle pore even is anyway. You're supposed to look like porcelain. So I get it.
But yeah,
Look,
so
I wish it was natural though, because she is cute.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole reason she does it, the worst makeup uglier, quote uglier, is simply because it makes it so she's less likely to get kidnapped, because that's a common thing. It's the reality of the world that she lives in. And she points out, oh, that day she was like, she only did a little bit of the makeup or something like that, and that was all it needed for her to get picked up and yoinked. And Jinxi's...
Yeah, it's because she was gathering the herbs and the sweat kind of like melted.
Yes,
the freckles away. Yeah. That's why like she's there. The kidnappers were like, oh, and it's still doable. She's still okay in a sense. They should kidnap her regardless, right? Because her makeup they smear a little bit
Disrespecting my
off.
girl. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, makeup, like what Elyza said, it can be used not only for making yourself look pretty, but also to make yourself look like ugly, so that to avoid some situation, you know. Kidnappers, yeah. But fuck the kidnappers.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck those guys. I
Fuck
hate
'em.
them.
Yeah, I hate them too. Okay, episode 6. We're basically at the event, the garden party. You see, it starts off with Li Shu preparing, and ladies are complaining about how picky of food she is, blah blah. You see the dance, and you get to see the emperor's mom for the first time with Gyokuyo's like daughter, right? Okay, this is the part that caught me off guard because you don't even know, she looked really really young, right? And she's like, what? How old was she when she gave birth to the emperor, right? She has apparently there's 2 children. There's one is the emperor and the emperor's younger brother, and it was rumored that the younger brother is too sick to leave the house. And suddenly the ladies in waiting are fighting, and you see another badass moment where she like scared the Lihua's ladies in waiting. She literally they ran away, but they don't recognize her because she doesn't have her freckles on. She's like, oh, this ugly bitch, like get her out. Why you guys haven't have ugly girl? They don't know it's her. No one knows it's her. And then they have a rivalry, and Ado and Li Shu's ladies in waiting are also rival. And then she learns that Li Shu is actually 14 years old. Yes, she's not even like 20. She is 14. And the
baby.
oldest Ado is 35. She's a baby. Yeah, so Ado was here the longest. She's 35, right? And they said daughter and mother-in-law, where Mama was like, okay, understandable. It's like Mama was from the previous emperor, and then she came to the current emperor. No, you guys were wrong. The one that was the previous emperor's like consort and concubine was Li Shu, 14 years old. Like, hello, previous emperor.
So this is what I got confused about. So like,
Yeah, I wanted that man dead.
yeah. So the previous emperor, one of his concubines was like an 8-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
When she was 9, sorry. When she was 9.
Nine.
Yes, 9.
Yeah. Ugh. Like when I
So,
watched it, I had to rewatch that section, and it still was not clicking in my head. I'm like, this just can't be real. This just can't be happening. Yeah.
Yeah, but Dishu was 9 years old when she was with the previous emperor. The previous emperor passed away, and the current emperor was like, all right, let's take her in. And now she's 14, but never really touched her at all because of age, right? It's bad, maybe, I don't know. But here's the revelation, right? It really shocked me that Li Shu is actually, quote unquote, the mom, and Ado, who's 35 years old, is actually the daughter. It really scared the shit out of me. Like, holy shit, she's 9 years old when she got picked up by like the previous emperor, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but we don't say about that. Again, this is
But
old
okay,
era.
but this is where I was confused. So they're saying that Li Shu, because she was a concubine, she became like a stepmom of Audi. I get so confused. That whole section really fucked with my brain. If you guys maybe understand it a little bit more clear, that's like the only thing in the show that I just could not follow. I'm like, who is the mom of who? All of this sounds fucked up and crazy. I don't understand it.
Okay, so Li Shu is basically not a mom, but like in the sense that they call her a quote unquote mom. It's not because she gave birth to someone. It's just she was under the previous emperor, which makes her should be higher ranking than Ado. But she basically left the palace and then came back afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, and in theory, she's just not really the mom, but she's just like, if you like look at the whole like ranking system, it's basically she was like with the previous emperor, so she's technically the mom of Ado, but she left and she came back to be with the current emperor, so that's why they're on par right now. But and you look at it in a certain way that she's technically the mom. She should be older than Ado because she has, you know, the experience, quote unquote, experience from the previous one. And Ado is 35. She basically is with the current emperor. She's not with the previous emperor. She's only been with the current one. So yeah,
That's why thinking about it.
Type shit.
Yeah.
Basically, it comes down to who appointed them, like old emperor versus new emperor. Old emperor, the fucking creep.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was an actual creep, but like having a 9-year-old as a concubine, lock in. Anyways, it just comes down to seniority. So Li Shu was a remnant of the prior emperor.
Yep.
This is where we learn that the current emperor, the one who's currently in power, was kind of just handed everything.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming there's only so many things they can adjust, because you have to remember, these concubines, these are like high-ranking women, like from these are essentially nobles who are sent out from other areas of the whole land that they control.
Yeah.
So as much as he may or may not have wants to, you know, lay his hands on a 14-year-old, he can't just demote or promote girls all willy-nilly unless he wants like shit like insurrections and shit, God forbid.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking within the
Also,
context.
shout out my goat emperor on that new emperor type shit. Shout out my goat. They literally point out in the show he doesn't ever really visit Li Shu because she's too young for him. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to type
God.
shit. That's my hero.
He's
God,
a cat.
that's how I was like, all right, we maybe don't have to kill this bitch.
The previous one though, we might have to. We don't.
I'm so glad that bitch is dead. So glad. Thank God. Okay. But yeah. Basically, Li Shu was a remnant from the old emperor.
Yeah.
That's why she has a more senior position over
Yeah.
Adwo.
Yeah.
But what it really comes down to, socially, Adwo is the one that takes care of Li Shu. Like, they're really tight like that.
Yeah.
But you don't really find this out until like the later episodes.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty tight. Yeah, right. So then later you see Li Shu, ladies in waiting fighting, and you realize that if you notice this, right, she's wearing a really dark pink outfit, whereas her ladies in waiting are wearing a white one. Which is weird because the other ladies in waiting with their concubines, like the ladies are like the queens are like similar color. Like Yokio is wearing like an orange reddish, and the ladies in waiting are a similar color, right? Well, why is she the different color? But this doesn't come to play later. But this is only like a note for yourself. And you suddenly they're talking about the hairpin, but my mom doesn't give a shit. I'm like, I don't care about the hairpin. Like, oh, okay. And Lihaku, you see a man called Lihaku giving out hairpin as a consolation prize. He gives off a golden retriever energy.
I love Lihaku.
It's so funny. It's like, oh, I'm giving out this consolation prize. You know, he doesn't say it, but they give out hairpin for free. It's only the queen Lihua comes in and she's like, you should be getting more. Gives her the hairpin too, and you realize the Gyokyo will be happy because she said the promise is that you're gonna get marked by me. But she got marked by Lihaku, she got marked by Jinshi, she got marked by especially Lihua. You know,
yeah.
Jinshi and Lihaku aside, but to get marked by another consort, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, she came up with the aura. She's like, you're mine, bitch. Don't forget me. I'm putting this right into your hair. I'm not even gonna ask you. I'm gonna just pull up, plop. There you go. Have a nice hairpin. And it's a very pretty hairpin. They point out. I think.
Yes, it is. I want it, Loki. I want it as well.
I used to have a really pretty red hairpin that I got. That but it's I don't know where it is. But I might need a new one after this. I don't know. I'm being influenced.
No, you know, one day I'd see that Elyza would make the hairpin and she would give it to all of us. She's like, all right, I'm marking all 4 of you guys.
I'm definitely marking my territory. Woof woof.
Yeah, but let's get to the taste testing. We're finally at the taste testing. Mama finally gets to do her job and she daydreams about eating poison literally in front of everyone. And she realized that the food in front of her is different from usual because it's usually a certain, like, it's usually a blue back, and it's now a jellyfish instead. Did the cook make a mistake? We don't know. But you will see that Li Shu is actually afraid to eat the fish. And the pester behind has an evil smirk going on. And she instantly knows what's going on again. And the other guys, you basically see Lihaku again. It's like, oh, let's see, the taste tester eat it. You see Mama drinks the soup and she becomes all dazed. Like, oh my god. And she does the seductive like lips licking as well. It's so cool. And like, boom, it's poison.
Yeah, that scene is so cool because it's
really
literally
iconic.
she drinks the poison, right? And she has the reaction everyone would perceive as, oh, it's just good soup. But then she's like, yeah, that's poison. And then she just gets up and walks away. I actually think it's so funny how little she reacts to the fact that it's poison. Which is why, like, later on they kind of point out, oh, everyone was confused by your reaction. Like, where they're, like, kind of suspect. Yeah,
it's because, like, she was, like, enjoying this. She looked like she was enjoying the soup, but she's actually savoring the poison, and boom, it's the poison, right? Because people don't really believe her. She's, like, telling, like, new and stuff. that the minister later on decided to drink it, and this dumbass drank the whole thing and passed out. You know, he got poisoned. And Jinshi, she literally, when she ran away to like puke every single thing, she sees Jinshi, and Jinshi was like, the minister did that. It's like, why is the minister so stupid? I literally just tasted the poison. It's so
Yeah,
dumb.
he owned himself on God. Like, that was so funny.
Yeah. And then she noticed that Jinshi has a different clothes and a different hairpin. It's like, huh, okay. Thought he got hit on by a guy again for some reason. Still thinks that, you know, he's into that, I guess. And she says for the first time, she prefers him like this, you know, not being a brat and actually being like a man, I guess. So yeah, evening time, she shows up and they were talking about like why they want to poison Gyokyo, because she's the one testing for Gyokyo, right? And she said, no, I don't want to talk to Gyokyo, I want to talk to Lishu instead, because Lishu is more important. And when Lishu arrives, she sees her arm that's all like, she's scratching it, and she reveals it. And you basically learn that Lishu cannot eat fish, and then you learn that Mama can't eat buckwheat. For some reason, she can eat poison, but she can't eat buckwheat because she can't withstand it. It basically swells on her throat, right? And the thing is that you find out the target is actually not Lishu but Gyokyo-sama. And the reason why that they let Lishu eat the fish is because the taste tester don't really like her, and they just want to bully her, right? So that's the thing. But she doesn't know that the dish that they sucked over to Gyokyo is actually poison and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it ends off again, bringing back the same situation where we don't know anything about the wood tablet. So yeah, you know that
and
Gyokyo
I
is
do
the one
think
getting poisoned again.
it was specified that the poison was actually meant for Li Shu.
Yeah, Lishu, yeah.
So that's something that they do figure out. It was meant for Li Shu, but it ended up in front of Gyokyo, which comes into play later. Very important that you remember that it was for Li Shu, because you know certain things happen. You know.
Yep, a lot of things happen, and it ended off with like, oh, we don't know about the wood tablet thing again. And then episode 7, it starts off with young Mama with her dad. She has like a dream or a flashback, and she managed to get a lot of sleep because the ladies in waiting said the minister, who was sick, who was dumb enough to drink the whole entire soup, was in a terrible condition and asked her to rest because they pity her. They don't know that, right? And she still appears in her freckles. She's not comfy without them. And the others also demanded to know who the pretty lady was, but you don't know who it was because she put on her freckles again. And Mama gets the soup by Gaoshun and tell her, do not eat the soup, please. Just like learn about what's the thing. So you realize that it's actually a silver bowl. And Gaoshun, he was very cautious. He was telling her stuff, and they found out there's actually 4 fingerprints. She basically used a powder, dust it off, and she found 4 fingerprints. And the 4 persons are basically first Li Shu's taste tester, the one who poured the soup, the one who handed the soup, and there's one outsider. And pretty much this outsider is most likely the culprit, right? Then Gaoshun really asked Mama like why the tester wanted to do that, you know? And they said like, oh, just basically just to harass Li Shu. There's already a hint from the previous episode because the clothing that the servant wore was white and not Li Shu, right? They purposely did it and made her dress dark pink because they want to make her seem that like she cannot read a room and she want to clash and to humiliate her, all sort of stuff. Which the reason why, I guess, kind of makes sense, but it doesn't give you a right to bully people, is because she wedded her dead husband's son. That's like, to them, it's like indecent. You know, her husband is dead and she just comes back and like dates like the son, you know. You see a Mama moment, she hisses at Gaoshun because like, oh, why do you want to protect the taster? She's like, nah. And she talks about how like the servant's life is worthless, and even more for the food taster, because food taster, the minute you drink the poison, and if you don't have a cure for it, if you don't know what to do, you basically lost your life. So yeah, that's why she want to protect the food taster, right? Next day, she finds out from the friend, the gossiper friend, that she can actually get out the castle and stuff. But she decided to go for Lihaku instead of Jinshi, which caused a big misunderstanding at the end. And you see Lihaku was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. You're gonna exploit me for something. I don't believe you. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
he's
basically
being a dick because she
Yeah,
had
was
the
being a
freckles
dick.
on. Yeah. He's like,
Yeah,
you're not
because
even cute. What the fuck? Like,
yeah, you're not the same person and stuff. Like, why are you ugly now, right? She's like, oh, I have this thing, a trade offer that I have a tree intro letter to our brothel that she worked at. Basically, the big three, Paidin, Joka, and Mei. It's a shame that you won't be able to help me out with this. Like, won't be able to bring me back home. I guess I'll go find someone else. And she takes out the hairpins that she has. She has Ihwa, she has Jinshi, and Gyokyo-sama. And she's like telling him in a sense, hinting to him that like, oh, these are people higher ranking and like they could actually help her out, and he caves in, right? Because he wants to meet the big three as well.
yeah.
But the thing is, the ladies in waiting didn't know that she has to go out, but Mama doesn't know the secret behind the hairpin because she didn't give a shit, right? And poor Jinshi was like, what the fuck? And literally Gyokyo literally teases Jinshi. She's like, oh, she ran out with a guy 3 days for 3 days, by the way. She doesn't give any
I love
info.
Goku so
love
much.
her.
She just out here stirring the pot.
Yeah.
She's really just stirring the pot. And it was really funny. And she like teases, like, yeah, she ran off. She's like, she just unlocked again for like 3 days. She's so sad. Then you see them.
I don't blame her for stirring the pot. Imagine, like, you're just lounging around. I mean, she's not lounging around. She's probably up to some important stuff. But, like, imagine how bored you must be with the routine. And then you see that one of the high-ranking officials or someone that you work with, like, they're obviously smitten.
Yes.
What's better? What's better than? And they don't have TV back then. How else you gonna get your soap opera romance?
Yeah.
Do it yourself.
Yeah.
I love it whenever she teases the both of them. It's so freaking funny.
Yeah.
Little pot stirring never hurt anybody.
Right, especially if it's Mama and Jinshi.
Yeah.
So Mama returns to the red light district with Lee Haku, and the fucking grandma punches her and sends her flying. And she mentioned that helps her spit out poison before, and she decided to send Paidin, the one of the ones who's interested in muscles. She loves muscles, by the way, to serve Lee Haku. And she goes. It ends off with like her going to her dad talking about story. And then the dad just goes like, "What a the rare palace! What a twist of fate!" And then it ends like that. We don't.
Oh my
know
god, that line makes sense now.
The line makes sense. Yeah, the line makes sense only if you watch it finish and stuff. But at this point, you really don't know what he meant, right?
Yeah.
Only later half. So there's like, if you remember, you remember. If you watch it for the second time. So then we have episode 8 where she wakes up and she realizes, oh, she's not in the palace anymore. She wants to help her dad, and she like tell him to like stop working because he's so old already, right? Because you're scared for your dad. He's like so old. Suddenly you hear a loud banging on the door. Bam, bam, bam. A child comes in for help. For some reason, she's really, really nervous when like Mama opens the door, and she just immediately dragged her to the brothel, a different brothel, not the one that she was living with and people. And she noticed when she opened the door, there was a guy that's not breathing already, and the lady still gasping for air. She rests in. It was a really intense scene, right? I loved it, how fast she sprang into action.
Yeah.
I really loved it. She was very professional. She just basically saved her, and yeah, room is full of alcohol, tobacco smell, and you find wheat stock. Okay, at that point, I didn't know what the fuck was wheat stocks for, but you found out later it's for straws, right? It's literally straws. It's more like, how do I say this? I don't know. I don't know what the word is again, but it's a friendlier way to save the earth. But back then, we don't really care. So she asked the little girl to bring her dad over, but when the little girl went away, you can see her do like the evil, like no life stare back at her, right? It was really scary. It was like showing something wrong with her. That arrives and then asks her to like make the medicines, and he tells Mao. He tests her instead of telling her the answer, which is pretty cool. I think that's how she learned how to like, you know, come up with like the detective skills and stuff. So basically we found out that the poison is basically the tobacco leaves are dangerous, and if you can't drink it with water because it makes it worse. This gastric juice inside your stomach can prevent the intake of the poison, but with the water it becomes more diluted. So they said, what if the leaves of the tobacco they smoke are already soaked before, and that's basically soft. So you learn that like the whole story afterwards, but I'm not gonna say this first. She thinks it's a double suicide, but at the same time she doesn't think so because the guy looks really rich and he doesn't seem like the type to do that, right? And then suddenly after solving that, she went to check on the guy, and you see the little kid trying to stab the guy. It really went really fast, and she a badass headbutts the kid. And she started crying.
She should have let her go through with it.
Yeah, she gotta go through with it. Yeah. So you basically learned that from another lady that the guy is like something similar to what we talk about, but he would sweet talk the girl and dump them, and he's really really widely hated by every girls, and he's almost killed as well. You know, he should have been killed honestly, but I don't. We don't talk about that. He got poisoned before and stuff, and he just settles it with all the money, and he has a guard now.
Yeah, and yeah, he has like a history, right? The whole thing is he has a history of like women dying or whatever around him, and it getting covered up. And then also he would do a thing where he would say he's gonna buy out their contract, and then like he just wouldn't, and he would just dip. So he's just like all around not a great guy.
He's not a great guy. That's why I feel like when you learned about this, the little girl's like older sister also got dumped by him, and then she was actually happy, you know, because you found out that she's actually in love with the guy, but of course he canceled out on her, and then she was like depressed and stuff. So the girl that actually got poisoned earlier was thinking about like killing him, and is surviving and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But before that, you learned that the little girl actually knows that the dad isn't usually around at the timing. And why would you find an apothecary instead of a normal doctor, right? It wouldn't make sense, because if you're panicking, you just go for a doctor. Why an apothecary? And she tried to figure it out, and she asked Dad if he knows, but she tried to figure out because Dad was like, nah, you do it yourself. She knows that now it's a murder, and the girl tried to kill the guy because she's not happy with the guy, right? Laces the drink with tobacco, but he had guards. So how do we do this? So both of them has to take a sip to avoid suspicions, and if the girl's okay, the guy drinks. So what the trick was used was two drinks, 1 cup. So a lighter drink poured over the heavier drink, so there were like different layers, and she just basically used the wheat stalks to like poke through the lower layer to drink a little bit, and then afterwards she gave the cup to like the guy. So she timed it really really well. Really smart of her, and actually she's not really all that dumb. She timed it so well that she would, by the time it came to morning, the guy would already be dead, and she would still be barely surviving. Enough time for people to come in to like save her, right? And I thought she was really smart, and it's really nice that the whole brothel was helping out them. And like, I guess it, but it's no reason for murder. But the guy kind of deserved it. He survived though. He survived.
Yeah, murder. I think the moral part of the episode is like.
Girls sticking out for each other.
Girls, don't fuck with women. Don't fuck with women. You know, we're deadly. We're smart. We're making fancy concoctions that are half dangerous, and we know where the danger is. But it's like, you know, morality is like a gray area this episode, where it's like, you know, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. You know, we can only let fate decide, and you know what happens. It's very much like, you know. That whole episode, I feel like, is meant to make you feel like, oh, nothing is black and white, you know? So I don't know. I thought it was a very cool episode that it been making you think. You know, these things make you think.
Yeah, that plan would go well, but like unfortunately, Mama was the one that appeared and solved everything, so both of them didn't die. And afterwards, you cue to like Piety and Asuka actually visit the annex, where you see a glimpse of a lady resting, and she's just hiding in the corner, crouched down, and she's just there, no mood, like island, like, you know, dead, you know. But you don't really know who the girl is until later on. And she returns, and poor Jinshi is really unhappy. She tries to run away, gets stopped, and well, the way she explained it to her, she's like, what the fuck are you saying? She's like, oh, I lost to a consolation prize, right? You didn't even ask me to help you. And it's like, why are you acting like this? Are you just bored because you're in the palace and nothing interesting is happening? And she literally said, oh, she gave him, like, she can't think of a repayment for Jinshi. She said, I granted him a night of blissful dreams. He seemed really happy. I worked hard and I'm pleased with myself. Literally caused so much misunderstanding with the two statements. And she got bonked. Jinshi passed out standing, and Yokio is just laughing outside. I love how the ending was. She literally just gave him a misunderstanding for a lifetime. I love this episode. And that's basically it for episode 8.
Yeah, so now we're into the next section. I'm gonna really try to speed run my section. No, it's great, because you know what? The most important parts, honestly, are that kind of beginning and end, and then the middle is building up. So I really want to spend a lot of time talking about those like last few episodes. So
The last few episodes definitely has a lot to talk about.
there's so much to talk about. Ooh. But okay, so episode 9, my notes like, throughout my viewing of the show become so crazy. Dude got murked by alcohol is the first note for episode 9. But basically, from my memory, it kind of starts with this one guy, right, who he is in charge of one of the warehouses, is to my knowledge, is his job, right? He's a strict by the books guy, and you can see he's like talking to himself. He's kind of a drunk, and the soldiers that are also sitting near him, other workers, you know, someone's side-eyeing him, being like, I don't fuck with that guy. And you're like, bad news. So he ends up dying. And of course, Jinchi comes to Mao Mao and is like, we got another mystery to solve, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Get your ass in the van. We got shit to do.
Kind of bad the van. God dang.
Yeah, but before they research the alcohol and try to figure out what's going on, of course, we see a lot of Jinchi acting all weird because Mao Mao went out with another guy, and he's like, "Oh, you went out with? Do you know what that means?" Like at first, he thinks, you know, she did exactly what you expect with the hairpin thing. For like, I guess they eloped, you know, became a couple or something like that. Whatever it is supposed to imply. So of course he's thinking that's what happened, and then after some silly moments, you know, he eventually figures out, oh, she was literally just using him to leave the palace. And of course he was upset because she didn't trust him to do it. And she's like, you would enjoy it too much, so no thank you. So they research the alcohol, and instead of it being a situation where he's poisoned, they actually eventually find out that it just had salt in it. And it seems, you know, after some conjecture, that the intention was maybe not to kill him. Although I think eventually we do find out that is the intention. But they think, oh, maybe it's not the intention and that it was just a prank. And they just kept adding salt and more salt and more salt until it actually killed the guy. And the issue was, as they reveal, he had a, like, sweet tooth and stuff like that, and he had like an issue where he couldn't taste. I don't remember what exactly caused him to not be able to taste, but essentially they just kept adding salt to his drink, and he wasn't reacting to their prank because he couldn't taste the salt. So then he had just ended up having literally too much salt and fucking getting murked. So that's like the first kind of arc in that episode. And then the second half, a woman ends up drowning. And also, okay, the scene is so funny. When they take the body out of the water, the guy who's actually supposed to check out the body is disgusted by it, freaked out by it, and he's like, Mao Mao, please, you freak of nature, can you take care of this body? Do the autopsy for me. And she says no, because her teacher, who she's an apprentice of, he said, don't ever touch a body because it could be used for medicine and you will go down a dark road if you ever access a body. And
I think
everyone,
it was really one of the only other, it was like one of the only times she was genuinely threatened by her dad, or by her dad, mentor, or whatnot. He was just like, he was chill. He was just like, all right, you know what, it's fine. You can be a little shit. You can be curious. Fuck around with medicine all you want, but don't you dare touch a body.
One thing.
That was like one of the only times where he actually drew like an absolute hard line.
Yeah.
Because he knows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's perfectly fine, but as soon as you step past this, just ends up being a point of no return. So thank you.
Don't
Mama.
goof with the bodies, you know. You leave the bodies alone. They look real good. Looks like you can make some medicine out of that, but you know, don't do it. So yeah, that was a cute moment and everyone just accepted it. After she like explained that, everyone's like, oh yeah, that makes sense for you. Like if anyone else had said it, they would think it's weird, but for her, completely normal. So they do a little investigation, and they make conjecture, whatever, and end up closing the case on it was a suicide, where she climbed up the moat wall and then jumped off. And they actually have this really interesting scene that we kind of end with, where Mao Mao kind of has a moment of introspection, and she's like, oh, I would never take my own life, but I wouldn't want anyone else to either. So she asked Jinshi, she said, if I'm ever ordered to be killed, please have it done by poison. And he's, of course he gets upset, and they have a little argument. But I don't know. Yeah, that one was kind of like touching, but also like unnerving. I'm like, girl, why are you thinking these things? I don't know. What did you guys think of that scene?
I think it was really interesting, but I would say the same thing. Like it was really like crazy, but also kind of really sad.
Yeah,
It is really sad. Like she just said.
Because we know Mama has been like so vocal about how she appears herself, like she knows her place in society. Like she knows, like, yeah, I'm of lowly birth, like I know I'm not really worth much, like anything I say here, if I fuck up once, like that's literally my head. And like it's great because like knowing that and knowing what she knows outside of that, like her skill set, whether it's like hiding her makeup or just like what the knowledge that she's given to them, like it's helped her survive, but at the same time she's almost chained by it. Right? Like, yeah, I know my place, but also Jinshi is just like, why are you acting like this? Like you're literally so incredible, but like Mama, she don't know any better. She's just like, yeah, this is my lot in life. Perfectly fine with it. I don't want anything more than that.
Because like the previous episode, they did said like she already mentioned like a servant's life is like pretty much worthless, and even more for like the food tester. So she kind of understands that anything could go wrong at some point in time. But definitely it's like out of canon, like out of character thing, because she knows that she's like pretty strong and everything, right? She's like really headstrong, she's really like smart and everything. So you wouldn't really expect her to say like, oh, what happens if I die? Please make sure it's by poison,
Yeah.
I think that was pretty. I don't think it was out of character for her at all. If anything, if anything, it was more in character for her. Just be like, hey, like this is my lot in life. Not that I'm ever really interested in making like decisions for myself, but at least at the end, like let me go out by my own means.
Yeah, let me go out the way that I love best.
You think she'll die by poison? No, I feel like she should be resistant to it at some point in time. I don't know.
They're gonna have to give her something crazy for sure. I mean, she's resistant, so inevitably at some point she will succumb to something.
I mean, the only thing that she can't eat is just buckwheat at the moment. That's for sure that she can't eat, So maybe it'll be for
Yeah, they'll probably kill her by like anaphylaxis if anything. But yeah, I don't think it was super out of character at all. It was definitely, it's a stark contrast for sure. Like it's definitely something shocking, but I wasn't surprised at all when that came out of her mouth. Like it's not that, it wasn't really her giving up. It's more so just being like, it was more, to me, it read as an offhanded comment. It was just like, yeah, should I ever die? Should I ever mess up? Can you like do me this one request and like let this be
it's
the
in
way?
her own way as well.
Yeah, no, the vibes that she was giving, she was like kind of like, yeah, this is just a fact. I'm just stating a fact. And he was like, what is wrong with you? Like their vibes were so off there. You could really see the rift between like where their heads are at in that moment.
It's a difference of how they view life.
Yeah.
Right? Like Mamo doesn't really think too much about her own work. I mean, I say that lightly, but obviously she knows she has more than that, especially because she's like a penchant for justice. Otherwise, we wouldn't be this far into the series. But it's just so it's a really interesting contrast of like how much about their personality shows out in this one moment, like where they both came from. Mama was kind of just like, holy shit, I get to live another day type shit. Whether Jinshi is kind of, he's always been surrounded by people that put priority in him, so he's just more likely to think that way.
Yeah. So episode 10. I'm gonna try to like just kind of speed through this because a lot of it is set up, and I want to get to the last 8 episodes as we are 2 hours in.
4 hours. Let's go 4 hours.
Oh my goodness. I might die. I might die. So episode 10, it starts with them having like a little bit of a tea party. Lady Gyokyo. I'm never gonna say everyone's names. I don't know why. I get so scared of saying foreign names incorrectly. I can't. So, but they have like a little tea party, and Mamo takes note. They have Lingshu over, Lady Lingshu, and she has one of those reactions of like panic when they go to give her tea that has honey in it. I don't think they specify yet that it's the honey that she specifically is scared of, but you know, Mao Mao and Lady Gyokyo tactically make it so like, oh, we'll give you something else instead of, you know, forcing her to drink it, which is really nice of them. And then Jinshi ends up having her transfer to the Garnet Pavilion, which is Lady Adu's house. He doesn't really tell her. Oh, you can hear my Discord notifications? I'm dead. Hold on. Let me mute that really quick. How do you do that? Streamer mode. Bam. Okay. Where did my notes go? Oh, I'm disaster afoot. Okay.
Chinese names are literally harder, so I can't really blame you guys.
Yeah, although they're so pretty. They're so satisfying to say. I like actually love saying them so much. Yeah, so Jinshi has her transferred to Lady Adu's house. Doesn't tell her why, but she figures out as she's there that he's trying to suss something out. Oh, also very importantly, the end of episode 9, it's revealed that the person who has the scars that they've been looking for is the head lady in waiting for concubine Adu, which is why obviously he sent Mama there. So it's the episode is kind of all just about her finding information, discovering things, telling them to him, trying to suss out why he wanted her there. And we do figure out some really interesting information. One, they make honey is like a whole thing. So honey's like a big thing there. And it becomes a bit of a pain point because they, I guess, figure out that the poison or there was honey in the dish, and they figure out that's where the poison was in. So that's like okay, it's definitely from Lady Adu's house. Also we, I think, figure out, do we figure out, is it episode 10 or episode 11 where we find out the reason Lingshu's afraid of honey is because of the thing that happened to her as a baby. I don't know if it's 10 or 11, but it's all... It might be 10. I think it's towards the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Also, we find out... This is where we find out that Mao Mao's father actually used to work in the rear palace. He was the man who delivered Adu's baby. So that's like a big reveal at the end of the episode, and she's like, what the freak? That's my dad, the adoptive father. And that's kind of how episode 10 ends. And so leading into episode 11, this is kind of the end of this whole arc. So we've been learning bit by bit information, you know, when it comes to the person with the scars, who's the person with the scars, right? You know, we're talking about honey, the whole thing with Lady Lingshu almost getting poisoned, you know? All of this lead up kind of comes to this episode, or half comes to this episode. So this is where Mao Mao goes to talk to the head lady in waiting for Lady Adu, concubine Adu. And it's really tense and scary. I was so stressed out during this scene. She goes to talk to her. First of all, this lady is chopping stuff up with this big scary knife. And this is where my brain that watches intense anime all the time is like, oh, she's gonna try to stab her. She's gonna try to stab her. She's gonna try to stab her. I was like freaking out.
I definitely thought her ass is dead after this.
Yeah.
Oh, she's fucking dead.
Oh shit. She's about to go down, guys.
Yeah, Feng Ming. So she's chopping shit up and she's trying to be all homely and nice and cozy. And Mama was like, I'm standing on business. We're about to have a conversation. And this is where we kind of see everything get pieced together, where it's a little complicated. But during Emperor round 1, right? First Emperor with the 9-year-old, right? Ling Shu, Lady Ling Shu, little girl, she really liked Lady Adu. She like loved her to death, right? She saw her like a little mom, and they were very close. And basically what happened to Lady Ling Sha, the reason that she doesn't like honey or is scared of honey is because when she was a baby, she got very sick after eating honey. And it was because apparently babies can't have honey, or it's like a certain kind of honey wherever they get it from is like very bad for babies.
Nah, it's just babies in general. I mean, they
Babies
didn't
in
know it
general?
at this time, but babies in general, you should not be feeding them honey before they
So this
reach
is
the
like
age
another one
one.
of those historically accurate things.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
It's,
Wow.
yeah. But basically, it's one of the first things they tell you in maternity class or when you have babies is that there's certain things. Basically, it comes down to allergies, but in this case, it generally is just like the safety of the baby. But yeah, I don't remember exactly what age it is. But I know before a baby is 1, you're not supposed to be giving a baby honey, because if you give them honey too early, it could lead to something called botulism. But yeah.
Damn, that's
Actually, they
crazy.
didn't know that at time. Yeah. So botulism is essentially it is a fatal disease. It occurs when the body is exposed to a toxin. It's like a specific bacteria. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but basically, it's fine if you are a little bit older. But the reason why you can't give it to babies before they age is because their antibodies or like their immune system isn't quite built up for that yet. So, yeah.
Damn, what the freak? Okay,
Learned
so
something
cool.
today.
Yeah, we're learning so much. We're learning how to get fingerprints in the old-fashioned way. We're learning to not give babies honey. Good to know for in the future, I guess, maybe. Like, someday, who knows? What else? Yeah. Oh, the powder. Well, we don't really have to worry about that anymore. But yeah, I don't know. Everything's so scary. Everything can kill your babies. Guys, be careful. Keep them in a bubble.
Yup. Yup.
Be careful.
Yes, and I do actually. That I was like that word that you just said, the B word. I can't remember it already. It's in one ear, out the other. I was like, I swear I know that word from somewhere. I think it is something with Botox, right?
That's completely different, I think. Botox is different. Botulism is. Let me look this up real quick. There we go. Yeah. Botulism is genuinely it's a illness which will almost always lead to death because it's a toxin. It's from a toxin specific bacterium called Clostridium botulinum. Botulinum.
So
Here
hard
you go.
to say it.
Oh my
I'm gonna put
gosh.
this in chat. But that's basically where botulism is from.
Yo, she botulism. That's crazy. So, all right. Bringing it back to the show.
To most other antibiotics.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's really scary. Dude, it's like, okay, sorry, I'm gonna go on a slight tangent. You know what's really scary? Freaking rabies. Like, the way that it's like, oh, once you have it, you will die, and that's it. Rabies, to me, is like the most scary thing ever. I can't lie. When I see a squirrel, bro, I'm like, you better keep your distance, sir. All right?
Yeah.
I don't want none of that. So yeah. Episode 11. Right. So Mao Mao is like, hello, I'm here on business, and I'm about to make a conjecture. She basically they break it down. So Ling Shu and Adu, they were under the first emperor, besties, whatever. Adu ends up having a child. And the head lady in waiting for Adu was giving the baby honey. And the baby, unfortunately, ended up passing. And she didn't know that. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew why the baby died. They just all kind of assumed, oh, it's because, you know, babies, they're babies, you know, things can happen. Scary world out there, especially in the olden times. And, you know, of course, she felt so bad for Lady Adu. She's like, like, I just want to make her happy and work for her and stuff like that. And she's crying every night, even though she told us everything's okay. And it breaks her heart. But because they know Ling Shu, eventually she finds out from Ling Shu that honey is dangerous for babies. And she makes, you know, 2 and 2 together. She realizes, oh, I was the cause of the baby's death. I was giving the baby honey. So due to that, essentially, she wanted to make sure that Ling Shu and Adu never, like, hung out, because she didn't ever want Adu to find out that she was the reason for the baby dying. And once the second emperor comes in, she thinks, oh, we're cool, we're safe, Ling Shu's gone. No, she comes back. And her plan now, very sane and normal, I have to kill Lady Ling Shu. So she tries to poison her. Just simply, I guess, to avoid ever it being found out that she was the reason, the cause for Lady Adu's baby's death. And as Mao Mao plays this all out, explains this all, the reaction this woman has is
knife behind her and everything.
terrifying.
Oh
It's so intense. It really is like you don't know what's gonna happen. Is she about to jump Mao Mao? Is Mao Mao ready? I don't know. Is she gonna square up? But she has a more sane reaction and was like, what do you want? I'll give you anything. And of course Mao Mao's like, what the skibbity? No, I want justice. And basically what happens at the end is she gets murked. But Mao Mao helps her because Mao Mao is a kind individual. The secret of the baby passing because of the honey, because of the head lady in waiting, dies with her. So that's never found out. And she just, it basically gets chalked up to, oh, she was just trying to help our concubine Adu by trying to kill another concubine. And she passes. And she's happy with that, which is like, I guess, you know, making the best out of a bad situation. But yeah, and at the end of it as well, a lot happens. Also, I have a note here that says cute cutscene, and I don't at all.
The flower one.
The flower one? Can you explain it? I literally don't remember it.
It's just like Mama just going to like a flower vase again, and she says it's sucking the nectar, and then Jinshi's like, "Oh, it's so sweet," and then like, "Oh, it's poisonous, by the way, but it's not lethal. Don't worry about it." I think that's the scene you're talking about. Probably.
Their relationship is just so cute. There's like a bunch of times in my notes where I'm like, cute scene. Oh, that's right. Also. So she puts together that also that girl that had passed, you know, offed herself by jumping into the moat. She puts 2 and 2 together that Fenming probably helped her do that because the whole thing was, oh, she couldn't have got up there by herself. So they kind of discern that that's what happened, and she starts hanging out on the wall, and Lady Adu actually pulls up. First of all, my androgynous queen, so beautiful, handsome, love her. She's such a baddie. Like, I'm like, I want that. I want that woman so bad. You really get the best of both worlds with her. She comes up to Mao Mao and is like, hey, you want to have a drink, whatever. And they talk for a bit, and she's just kind of preparing to leave. And then Mao Mao gets down after they talk, and whatever, and she actually bumps into our boy Jinshi, and he's being all cute and sad. She falls, right? She falls, and he catches her, and he hugs her from behind, and he's drunk. And he's like, she's like, "Ah, get off me!" Ah! And he was all like, "No, just stay here a little bit longer." And he's crying, and we don't know why in that moment, but my heart hurts for him.
My heart hurts for him. It was so cute though. They had a moment together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a freaking cute cutscene. And the episode ends with her getting sent off, Lady Adu. And this is kind of like a big moment, I think, right? Where Mao Mao starts to piece together, or she makes a conjecture. So many conjectures in the show. She's like questioning how they look so similar, right? She's like, they look so similar. They could swap spots and you wouldn't even know. And she kind of makes the connection that, oh, could it be that he is her son? And then she kind of like, but it's just a conjecture. Like, that's how the episode ends. But it kind of leaves you on like a big moment of like, oh shit, wait, there's palace politics occurring and everything is not as it completely seems. And there's like a lot of moving parts that we don't see, but we're slowly piecing together. So, that's episode 11. End of the arc of freaking trying to poison our 14-year-old gal. Thankfully.
You know what I loved about the ending? It's like you see Li Shu chasing after Ado because it was currently leaving, right?
Oh yeah.
Her other ladies, it was so cute to see that because they had like a strong bond and they always separated no matter what, right? And then afterwards, you see that her other ladies in waiting don't even give a shit about her while she's chasing. And the one, her food taster, actually chased after Li Shu. Like, Li Shu-sama, please slow down. Don't run after that. It's really nice because you really tell that the food taster had a change in heart and started protecting her. It's really lonely because her other lady is waiting. She cannot trust. To have that one person at least to trust and that whole palace is really, really nice. And I like that she changed, you know? She started protecting Li Shu and stuff. Started caring for her a bit more. That was nice.
Yeah, it's super cute to see. Yeah, I mean, it was sad, you know. She's like, oh, but I'm sure they'll see each other again. Because Lady Adu's still kept within the palace, right? But she's just
palace part.
She's in a different spot. I wonder why she's being kept around. Why she's so important. I don't know. But that's episode 11. Also, at the end of episode 11, they do reveal that the people that I guess own her like contract was the Fenming like family, right? The people under her. And so essentially what goes on in episode 12 is everyone whose contract was owned by her family ends up getting let go, is from what I understand. So unfortunately, Mao Mao, well, not unfortunately, right? In theory, she'd be happy about this. But she's let go. The whole thing is she goes in, right? Jinshi is trying to parse what she wants, and they both end up not really communicating well what each other want, and he effectively is like, yeah, you're let go, goodbye. And she's like, no, but kind of happy about it, kind of not happy about it. I don't know. She's just such an indifferent queen. It's hard to read her sometimes.
I think she was happy about it because she could leave, but then she realized that if she were to leave, the grandma's like, all right, I'll sell you off as a courtesian. She's like, oh shit, no, wait, I don't want that. And then she ran towards Jin. She's like, no, please don't sell me off. Wait, don't fire me.
Yeah, she's like, wait, shit, the grass is not greener. The grass is not greener. Take it back. But she ends up getting, she goes back home and we get to see her kind of seeing everybody again, being super happy about it. And then she basically essentially works for the courtesans, but not as a courtesan. Or she is, but not the type that is giving away their purity. Yet, it's like, oh, she ends up staying there. Who knows what would happen, which is kind of what they tease you with. And so after being reunited with her dad again, just kind of catching up with everyone, there's like an event where some really rich guy paid for all of the courtesans to come to his home for like an event. And she goes with them to basically be like a serving girl slash just like semi-entertainment, while the big girls are all the main entertainment. And so they're there, and you get to see the girls dancing and playing their instruments. It's really, first of all, they're also pretty and boobity, and I love looking at them. And they're also talented, right? They play all these board games, they play their instruments, and we get to learn a lot more of the politics about, you know, what a courtesan has to go through. And it's a lot of rigorous training, frankly. And it's like kind of nuts. I'm like, all this training for what? For men, huh? Different times. So they're at this event, and Mao Mao's doing her thing, you know, she's like keeping her head low, and she sees this one guy sitting by himself. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go do my job, make sure he's having a good time. And it ends up being homeboy Jinshi. He's there to celebrate with them, and they have a really cute moment where first of all, he keeps trying to touch her, not too weirdly. In the same way that he used to, kind of teasingly touch her. And she'd be like, can't touch a courtesan. Can't touch. And yeah, like, it's just a really cute moment where they discuss, you know, how she's doing and what she actually wanted. And he essentially offers her, I think she thought as a joke at first, to buy out her contract and bring her back. And she's agrees to it. She's like, yes, of course, I would want that. But it seems like just hypothetical in the moment. So they have their cute moment. Everyone was like watching them, being like, "Oh my god, they're being so cute." Yeah, he was a little bit drunk, I think.
A little bit.
And he does this thing where he touches her lip, and then touches his lip, and put like the lipstick on her. That boy.
So
Yeah.
He got games for sure.
Yeah, he's smitten.
He's smitten.
He's in love.
He's in love.
I literally put Jinshi pulls up because he's the goat. Like,
and even for the first time, you see Mama blush as well. You know.
Yes.
She finally blushes because of Jinshi. She usually just hiss at him, but the first time I see her blush, she's like, oh, maybe there's a chance.
The facade, the walls are coming down ever so slowly. They're getting chipped. The ice is getting chipped, and we love to see it. So towards the end of the episode, essentially, it's kind of like a recap since this is episode 12. We're at that like halfway. Chat was at literally. So it's like that halfway point, and they do like a little montage where she's just thinking back on all of the fun moments and mysteries that they solved and everything, and it's really cute. And that kind of wraps up the first half of the show. Any thoughts so far, ladies, on I guess the first 12?
I think it's just a good setup to everything. Every episode has something, and it's not too boring, and always leads up to the next one. So it makes you on edge, like, oh, I need to watch the next episode and all kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like the interaction between Jinshi and Mao Mao. It slowly was like he thought of her as using her as a pawn and like just want to seduce her. But gradually over time, in this 12th episode, he slowly becomes smitten with her and starts to like slowly fall in love, I guess. Mama was just still like dense and everything. She's like, I don't want to fuck with this guy. But to see her blush in the episode 12, I was like, it made me so happy. Yeah, honestly, so far, all the episodes has been really, really good. I like all the detective things. I just like Elyza. I just like, you know, people just cracking their heads and be like, oh, what happened in this case? What happened in that? It's just really nice.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll jump right into episode 13. Holy moly. Like, so, okay.
We're
gonna-
I mean, we can also maybe do part 2. I mean,
Part
depends
one,
on how
part
you guys
two.
feel.
Do you want to do
Part 1 and part 2.
a part 1, part 2? Are we cool with that? Because then, okay, so
I'm
we'll be more descriptive then next time as well.
Especially because it's already been 2 hours, and then on top of that, the end half gets really crazy. So
Yeah.
I think we definitely saved the end half for like a different episode so we can talk more.
Okay, cool. No, yeah, I'm down. It makes my life easier.
24 episode is really hard to tackle because this is such a good anime. So we have a lot to talk about in every single episode.
Yeah, I just feel bad for BB because she's been sitting here like preparing for her part.
No, all good.
She's not going all in for the next part too, yo. She's going all in. You better get all your notes ready.
I have my notes perfectly fine. Because the thing is, like, I love the Apothecary Diaries, right?
Mhm.
So I genuinely like. Usually, when you, at least when I check out new anime, I usually give them like the 3-episode test run. But like, I don't know, since the beginning, the Apothecary, like from the get-go, was absolutely incredible.
Hooks you in really nice, doesn't it?
Yeah. It has you peaked from episode 1. Like, it piques your interest from ep 1, and just the way it evolves and how much further you get strung along before you look back and you're just like, holy shit, there's some shit going on over here. Like, I just think it's really interesting and cool. And I know as soon as we get to my part, I'm gonna yap, and we might be here for a hot second, which is why I'm like, do you want to do part 2?
Yeah, you know, that very smart, very smart. I was gonna feel it out, just kind of. I knew, what was it? When we took an hour to get through the first 4 episodes, I was like, this might need a
You realize that
two-parter.
how dense every episode is, you know? I also realized, like, I don't think we can complete this today because how dense every single episode.
Yeah.
We chose like the good. It's just a good anime. It's not a bad anime. It's just a good anime, but a lot of things to unpack afterwards.
Yeah, she had me at our first mystery. Okay. So are we okay? Well, we'll discuss then how soon we will do this next episode. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. We'll maybe give like a refresher. Well, you guys can refresh yourselves by watching. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Do you guys have anything to plug other than this week on Friday we released our physical merch. So we have mugs on sale. We have a mouse pad on sale. We've got all of our acrylic stands. We've got postcards with our real signatures on them. We did that painstakingly with our fingies. We wrote that just for you. And a bunch of other stuff.
Edition, right?
Yeah.
I talked about this on my stream earlier, but like, guys, it's limited edition. You never get to see this merch. So next time when this sales ends and people's like, hey, where'd you get that merch from? And you're like, I got it from the EVE.EXE Specialite bootleg website, and it's limited edition, so I own it. And too bad you guys don't have it. You guys don't want to miss out, right? If you're missing out, you should definitely get our merch right now.
Bluebell is Mao Mao with Miku hair. Thank you so much, Chief Spartan, for the super.
Yeah, that's my goat right there. That's my goat.
That's my goat. But yeah, so please, guys, it's only until December 29th. Oh, 30th. Okay.
29th?
I think it's 29th.
December
30th
30th at 11:59 p.m. So
Yeah.
you guys have literally
A month.
until the clock strikes. What is it? The 31st. Is it 31st in December? Yeah, to get your EVE swag.
Your EVE
Yeah.
swag.
Buy
And-
for like in a Christmas or something. Give it to your friends.
Yeah, give it to your mom. I want your mom to hold me. I want your mom to put me in the Christmas tree. I also gift me to literally anybody or to yourself, you know. And I really want to see, I really want to see merch pics. Like, no one's been, oh my god! Genjutsu to Saman! Thank you so much for the 20 gift cards!
Yo, go!
Thank you. We will now be listening to slurping sounds for the next few minutes.
It's okay. The podcast, the recording we're doing, they can't hear it. It's okay. It's fine.
Thank you so much. Thank you, appreciate it. But yes, please get our merch, and thank you for the gifted. Everybody say thank you. Give them big old sloppy kisses. We want Genjutsu Sama to feel lots of love. But yeah, that merch is not forever. It is ending December 30th. So if you need a new mouse pad, you need a new mug, even if you don't need it, get it anyways. You know, find different uses, as we've talked about. You know, you could put coffee in your mug. You could put some alcohol in your mug. You know, you could put your pens in there. You could put the stickers that you bought of us. You know, you could put our acrylic stands in the jar.
And then you can put milk in there to measure to make your mac and cheese, that infamous like Elyza mac and cheese, totally. To measure it out, you know?
Yes, please. Oh my gosh, people making the mac and cheese that I always eat, and then if you put my like standee in there, I would be so happy. I want to see my standee in some milk.
Why are you coughing? Why are you coughing?
Nothing. My bad, nothing.
Time we should cough this one.
But
I have a cough.
Yeah. She needs some milk.
We talk about the mac and cheese. She started coughing like she got an issue with your wife's mac and cheese.
It's great. It's great.
It's
lovely.
bussin'. At first, off collab, you guys are tasting my mac and cheese, and you're gonna freaking like it. It's so tasty.
My flight got delayed or got canceled. I can't make it, guys.
Why do you hate me?
I love you and everything, but that mac and cheese, I think you should definitely give it to Lily AI to inspect it first before it gets to us. You know what I'm saying?
No one wants my mac in. I know my ankle biters got me. My ankle biters love my mac. Okay, all right, and that's all that matters. It's just my ankle
I don't know
biters.
about that. I don't know about that. The last time I did the first 1 anniversary thing, I had some of your ankle biters go like, I love you, mistress, and all, but what's with that mac and cheese?
No, I already know. Excuse me, if any ankle biter was in the room with me right now, and I'm coming at you with a bowl, and I'm like, here, baby, here, come take a sip of this mac and cheese. I know you're gonna drink it, no matter how fucking milky it is. I know you are letting me pour that into your mouth because you love me, and I love you, and that's all that matters, okay? The mac and cheese does not matter. It's about the love that we share and the mac and cheese that you're gonna be sipping on, bitch.
And the acrylic stand on top of it, it's a cherry on top. So you definitely should get our merch.
Yeah, get our merch! Woo! And look forward to part 2 of the Apothecary Diaries. We will announce that as soon as possible, what day and time that will be. Hopefully soon as frick. And yeah, do you guys have anything to plug aside from that?
Nothing important.
Buy your
The only
merch
thing I can plug
thing.
is for Mischief.
Oh my gosh, is the donathon still going on?
Yeah, it's still going on. It added on to like, she's like right now at like 26 hours.
No way, really?
When she was sleeping, it was like 20 something hours, but then when I checked back, it's now 26 hours, so it got increased.
Oh.
Yep.
My
Buy
goodness.
your merch and buy Mischief's birthday merch. I believe
Yeah.
sale period ends on December 5th. So you don't have a lot of time left. Go ahead and support Mischief.
Yes, support Mischief, support us, support everybody, support the Eves. If you love the Eves, support us. Yes. Mwah. Hugs and kisses. And
Also, Gen 1 anniversary. 1 year anniversary soon.
yes, on the 2nd.
Yep.
That's gonna be happening today at 8 p.m. EST, I believe.
Oh my god, already today?
Yeah, it's the 2nd.
Time is moving too
Yeah, it's
fast.
already midnight for you. Yeah. Support the EVE girlies, support the Gen 1 girlies, and to support all the JP girlies as well, you know? So
Yes.
they put out more content for you guys.
Specialite support.
Yay!
Yeah, that's it. So thank you guys so much. And we will see you for the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, I don't want to get big. It looks weird if I get big around you. Okay, anyways. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hugs and kisses. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. They can't hear the girls anymore. It's just me and you, ankle biters. Just me and you. I love you so much. Okay, bye-bye.